evening, racing fans. Welcome to Racing Action from Grand River Raceway for this Friday evening. Our first dash will go to post in approximately 17 minutes. 9 harness races for your enjoyment this evening. Blue skies overhead. Of course, in races 5 and 9, we have that $7,500 guarantee in the high five. You'll hear more about that as we get into the program. But first up, we've got some changes on this evening's card of racing. Track condition is listed as fast. The announcer is listed as slow. In race number one, Arizona Jackson, Daryl Thiessen will drive. Race 1, Arizona Jackson, Daryl Thiessen will drive. In race number two, Cool Cute Cookie, Brett McDonald. Brett McDonald will drive Cool Cute Cookie. In race number 3, number 1, Cabot Tower, Paul McKenzie will drive. Paul McKenzie drives 1 Cabot Tower in the third. In race number 4, Sheila's Brush, the driver will be Paul McKenzie. Paul McKenzie drives for Sheila's Brush in the fourth. Race number 5, Not a Bad Guy. It'll be Tyler Moore to drive. Tyler Moore drives number 5, Not a Bad Guy. Race 6, no changes. No changes, race 6. In race number 7, number 1, Raw Power, the driver is going to be Brett McDonald. Brett McDonald will drive the 1. Also adding Murphy Blind on the right. And also changing blinkers to blind bridle. Blinkers to blind bridle. And race 8, no changes. No changes, race 8. And in race number 9, scratched is number 9, Print Media. Race 9, scratch number 9, Print Media. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Race 1, Arizona Jackson, Daryl Thiessen will drive. And in the second dash, Brett McDonald will drive number 2, Cool Cute Cookie. It's 15 minutes to post time to welcome in my co-host and handicapping expert, live from Margaritaville in the big palace in Newmarket. How are things over there in the palace today?
Oh, going fantastic, Gary. Looking forward to tonight's card, especially with those guaranteed pools and our high fives. Also excited about the weekend, too, right? We get to kick off the weekend of harness racing here in Ontario with 9 dashes here tonight. But, obviously Mohawk Park's got their big cards tonight and tomorrow night. And Leamington, their grand opening is on Sunday. And on Sunday night, I'm going to probably go and check out the Earl Rowe trot at Georgian Downs and listen to my friend Gary Guy call the races there because it's a real nice card at Georgian Downs on Sunday night featuring the Earl Rowe with Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy. Them hooking up should be a fantastic night of harness racing action. And actually, East Coast, Charlottetown's got their trials for the Gold Cup and Saucer starting tomorrow. Old Home Week's always a fun time out there. So lots of stuff going on this weekend that I'm excited about, but it all starts right here at the river on this fabulous Friday. 9 dashes only tonight, so we won't have a late pick 5. The late pick 4 will start in race number 6, but we do have those 2 guarantees in our super high 5 pools as a thank you for the support that we got on Industry Day. $7,500 is the guarantee on each of them, races 5 and 9. Race 5, 2-year-old maiden event on the pace. And then race 9 is the Billings Amateur Series. Very competitive looking $8,000 claimer and I think they can both end up paying very well. Much like they did on Wednesday night, we saw 2 incredible payouts when we guaranteed the pools on Wednesday night. $1,642 for one of the payouts and $1,530 for the other. Those are for 20-cent wagers. So obviously, the big guarantee, it brings out, the bigger pool. and then we see the bigger payouts if just a couple of prices kind of mix their way into it. And we saw outside posts getting put more into play, especially after industry day. It was weird. On Wednesday night, we saw a lot of outside posts getting put into play. We'll look for that to maybe continue to be the trend this evening on our 9 dash card tonight. But as always, we're going to start off with the first wager we always look at, which is that early pick five with a guaranteed pool of $5,000, low takeout 15%. And Gary and I will do that at about 8 minutes to post.
Fans note we now have a change in race 5. One 5-star Lou is scratched. Race 5 scratch 1 5-star Lou.
6 minutes till the first of 9 dashes on this fabulous Friday at Grand River Raceway in beautiful Elora, Ontario. You know what time that is? It's now time to take a look at that early pick five wager guaranteed pool, $5,000 low takeout, 15%. Gary, myself, and Conley always map out our suggested tickets for you. Sometimes we see things similarly, other times we're very different. So you can kind of take a look at what we like and then form your own tickets as well. Feel free to add or subtract as you see fit. But we're going to look at my ticket first, and I think my ticket's kind of an economical one tonight. We've got some shorter fields to kick off the card here, and just spending with the scratch now. I think it's $6.20, I believe, is the cost of my ticket. But we are going to have a single in race number 2. $6.40 is the ticket. Single in race 2, 3-5 to kick us off here. Don't have the current 4-5 favorite, Bet the Beach Yankee. Using the 3 Wild Dog Holiday, who was a winner last time and non-winners at 2, and Sporty Bob, who was on a 2-race win streak last time out, just got caught by St. Lad's Criminal and Stonebridge Thrill. So I'm okay to go back to him when you don't have those two in here. So too deep here for me. Just the 5. Watch her do it in race number 2. And then the 6 and 7 in race number 3, that's going to be Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire. I think those are the two you want to be involved in the most. They're kind of the ones that have been going through the battles in those top condition classes here. They do draw the outside of the gate, but I don't think that's a big deal anymore like it used to be on the half-mile surface. So 6, 7 in race number 3 for me. 2 and 5 in race 4. Sweet Gadgets is the one I do have on top in there. The turning point, I think you have to have in your ticket after a nice win last time, and first start for Shane Barrington. And then in that money leg, we're going to go 2, 4, 5, and 6. It's 2-year-old maiden pacers, and that's a tricky dash. So I'm going 4 deep in there. I'll probably play a couple of real small tickets where I take an all as well. I found that race to be very tricky. But we're going 4 deep, using 4 of the 8 in there now with 4 of the 7 in there now with the scratch of the 1 5-star lose. $6.40 is my ticket. What do you have for us tonight, Gary Guy?
Well, in the first race, we see it the same way. Sporty Bob and Wild Doc Holiday, I think, just stand out in there. And in the second race, Watcher DeWitt is my top pick, but I did add in Blue Glamber, just trying to get away from what's probably going to be the favorite Watcher DeWitt, and just 2 in there. Race number 3, I have Can't Get You Out of My Mind and Ms. Quicksand. Can't Get You Out of My Mind is, if you look at Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire, they faced a tougher, but I just kind of have a feeling about Can't Get You Out of My Mind was racing. That was a really strong race here last time out, and just might be able to be sharp again, third start after missing a bit of time. Race number 4, we both see it the same way, Sweet Gadgets and the Turning Point. And race number 5, I have Harbor Light Jimmy, What's Your Limits, and Not a Bad Guy. So I used 3 in there, but I'm using Harbor Light Jimmy on top, so difference of opinion, but it's a wide open dash.
It really is. Yeah, I agree with you, Gary. I think that is a wide open dash. And it looks like we have 8 combinations where we can both be winners tonight. But that money leg, I think that's kind of where you're going to see some serious value, both in the pick 5 and that guaranteed high 5, with that pool guaranteed at $7,500, because you've got 2-year-olds and you've kind of got a bunch of horses that, didn't really show all that much as of yet. And then tonight, someone's going to go out there and get their picture taken, and they might do so at a bit of a price. But $9.60 is the cost of Gary's ticket. Look at Conley's ticket. So Gary and I are in the same neighborhood. We see some things differently. I understand using Blue Glamber in race number 2, because that is the other entrant from the barn of Shane Barrington. And I'm a fan of the horse. I just think Watcher Do has got a class edge over her right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 here in the opening leg for Conley, going really deep in the first race. 5 and 6, so both Barrington entrants in race number 2. 4, 6, and 7 in race 3, so Can't Get You Out of My Mind. And then the 2 that I think are the obvious ones, Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire. 1, 2, 4, and 5 in race number 4. So using Happy Looker on the rail, Sweet Gadgets, Sheila's Brush, and the Turning Point, and all in on the 6. What's Your Limits in race 5? And that is my top selection, and one that I like in there. Just taking a big stand, though, right? You're in a maiden pacing event for 2-year-olds off a break last time. I did think that it was going to be in a nice spot in that non-winners and one race at Mohawk Park before that miscue. So I think that one is the logical one in there. And if I was going to single one, that's who it would be. But I just couldn't do it. So Conley's got more guts than me in race number 5, and he's going to spend $24. He usually spends quite a bit on these Friday cards. He likes to go into the weekend taking a shot at getting down a big ticket. He's going to single up the 6. What's your limits in race number 5? You got a minute or so to map out your winning wagers for this early pick 5 sequence. Guaranteed pool $5,000, low takeout 15%. Be back in a few moments to take a closer look at the opening dash.
Field on post parade, race 1 Arizona Jackson. Daryl Thiessen for trainer Victoria McInnes and the owners Robin Morley. Number 2, Harborlight Ambrose. Brett McDonough for Kyle Bostons and the owners Ralph Jardine. Number 3 is Wild Dog Holiday Austin Story for Kyle Bostons and William Brown. And 4 Shredder, Scott Colder, Tess Waxman, and Ryan Bender. Number 5, Sporty Bob, Travis Henry for Robert Kyle Fellows and M&S Racing. And number 6, Bet the Beach Yankee, Jason Ryan for Ashley Lenvoy and Gino Toscani. Field of 6, let's get right to it. And Rob, Sporty Bob is the 2-1 favorite. Doesn't have to face St. Lad's Criminal this time out. Things could go a lot better. Also a better post position.
Yeah, I kind of looked at this race and right away my eyes were trained on the 5 Sporty Bob. And I think it's hard not to do that because of the fact that, like you said, Gary, last time out, post 7, he goes to the front again. He's been racing forwardly placed here in his last few starts. He chops out, legit fractions. The third quarter was a big one. And then gets beat by St. Lad's Criminal, who I thought kind of got a little bit lucky to kind of, thread the needle at the head of the stretch. And then Stonebridge Thrill as well gets the better of him. But he ends up being a decent third, all things considered. 52-3 was his mile time. Before that, he had won 2 in a row at this level against, pretty decent groups. So I think we're going to see him blast off the wings of the gate again this evening. And like you said, he does so from a better post. Hard for me to go against him. Looks pretty good out there right now, too. Looks pretty sharp, and I think he can get back to his winning ways.
Number 3, Wild Dog Holiday is one that we have seen have a very good year. 5 wins in 9 starts, including last time out, 52-3. He's got the gate speed and a favorable post as well.
Yeah, and those last few victories here at the River. I mean, he's won his last 3 starts here at the River. Right, mixed in between there's a race in the grassroots at Mohawk Park, and actually I lied. He's won his last 4 here at Grand River with that grassroots race 2 back where he finished 7th at 48-1, and even his other efforts mixed in amongst those wins are in against tougher competition in the grassroots. So I think he fits in well with this group. He does face tougher. This is kind of a mixed bag, right, between non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3. with the non-winners of 3 horses having to start towards the outside of the gate, which isn't really a disadvantage, I think, anymore here. But that's how the classes get written. And I think that Wild Dog Holiday is going to make his presence felt early and often. So 7-2. I think he's the value on the board right now. We'll see if that holds up come post time.
You know who could be a sleeper is one Arizona Jackson, because this is one that was really good last year in limited action as a 3-year-old. This will be the second start after missing some time, and also was sick early in July. But now, look, it was off a long time before that August 2nd race. Now comes back on a tight rotation.
Yeah, we always love that, right? Like we usually will look at any horse that's getting back on a regular rotation and say there's a reason this horse is going to, maybe take a step forward tonight. And Arizona Jackson kind of already has the goods to be more than competitive against this group. I like the pickup of Daryl Thiessen here. He likes to drive aggressively, and I think he'll do so from the pole position. Last time out was a solid effort to be third to Wild Dog Holiday, and now again, I think this horse by all rights should be able to get a pretty big piece of it in here. I'd say bottom end of the try and super 8-1, not a bad number on the board.
Another one that's got gate speed too. Harbor Light Ambrose loves to blast early.
Yeah, he does, and that win last time here, anyways. I saw that one obviously on the broadcast here, 53-1, most of the way on the engine. He kind of got past me on that occasion. I was on RJ Ringo. He was a strong winner. And then we saw that one actually come back to race well. Last one at Georgian Downs 2 was a good win, and I think he fits with this group. I just think it's a pretty big step up in class. So I couldn't get any higher than maybe third or fourth for him. But again, it's going to come down to how the race rolls here. And I mean, if Sporty Bob gets alone in the lead, he's going to be tough to catch. If there's any kind of action, then maybe one like Harbor Light Ambrose can make his presence felt in the late stages.
And a quick thought on Bet the Beach Yankee. He took a lot of money early, but now has climbed up to 5-1.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to make of him. I mean, he obviously fits in with this group, and he's raced with some success here at the River in the past. Again, if the right things kind of happen in front of him, he can come back to. He can definitely get past them. And Shredder, for me, the 4. I mean, taking a lot more support than I expected. He's one that I've kind of been watching off that break last time, though. I elected to watch him one more start tonight.
It's a field of 6. Arizona Jackson and Harbor Light Ambrose on the inside. Wild Dog Holiday and Shredder in the center. And to the outside, Sporty Bob. Bet the Beach Yankee. Field of 6, race number 1. Field 4, race number 1. Is at the start of the rough, and Sporty Bob will flash early speed. Wild Dog Holiday, Harbor Light Ambrose, and Arizona Jackson on the inside now, driving on through from post 1. Arizona Jackson now, Wild Dog Holiday, Sporty Bob, and then Harbor Light Ambrose is third. Now Sporty Bob, after leaving hard, is going to have to take back to find a seat in front of Bet the Beach Yankee, and Shredder is trailing the field. A lot of action early in this one as they race their way on to the opening quarter. Wild Dog Holiday at 2-1 has that opening lead as they race their way up towards his 26-4 was the opening quarter. Arizona Jackson second. Harbor Light Ambrose is now racing position to third. Then it is Sporty Bob, Bet the Beach Yankee, and Shredder is trailing the field. Wild Dog Holiday and Austin Surrey now looks for a breather off at 26-4 opening quarter. Arizona Jackson rides along in the pocket. Harbor Light Ambrose is third, and now to the outside, Bet the Beach Yankee. Sporty Bob is on the inside racing fifth, and Shredder is sixth. They work their way on towards the 3/4 of a half of 56-2 and a 29-3 second panel. Wild Dog Holiday. Bet the Beach Yankees all the way up to second now, and he's coming on gamely. Arizona Jackson is third, and now Sporty Bob has moved out second over. And then it is Harbor Light Ambrose and Shredder, and they race by 3/4, and Bet the Beach Yankees getting closer to Wild Dog Holiday. Arizona Jackson. Sporty Bob is coming on very sportingly now. 125 to 3/4, Bet the Beach Yankee. Sporty Bob is now closing, and on the inside, Wild Dog Holiday, then Arizona Jackson. Shredder and Harbor Light Ambrose on down the stretch drive they come. Bet the Beach Yankee, here comes Sporty Bob. Bet the Beach Yankee and Sporty Bob on down the stretch drive. Bet the Beach Yankee is digging in. Bet the Beach Yankee is going to win at 7-1. Then it is Wild Dog Holiday, Sporty Bob, and Shredder. 154 flat. Bet the Beach Yankee. Goodbye, Pick 5 ticket, Rob.
Yeah, no, right off the hop, right? And you know what? Like the way the race went, I mean, when he came first over, he looked really sporty, and I thought that all of a sudden, if there was live betting on the race, Gary, he was 7-1. Before the word go, he would have been like 5-2 and just plummeting at odds every step from there on forward because he looked really good. On the rim, kind of grinding down the likes of Well Doc Holiday. And Sporty Bob, I mean, that's not really his trip. I mean, really, Travis Henry did all he could to kind of get what he could out of it, but he was trying to blast off the wings of the gate from post five. Three horses ended up punching through on his inside. He then had to take back after being used pretty hard off the switch, sit fourth. Then did well to actually get second over behind Bet the Beach Yankee, but that wasn't going to work out. So, yeah, a horse that I kind of just whiffed on here. Sometimes you just don't have it. We saw this horse race well to be third here, only beating a neck at this level, even against a tougher field as well. Not too long ago, and maybe should have given a little more credit. But 7-1 to kick off the pick five. I mean, if you're still kicking after that one, you're already looking at a strong payout.
I guess the only story is when you look at the program, there's four horses that all look like they want the front, and they all wanted it badly, and well, that set it up for one from off the pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what? I guess the other thing too is that the horses that kind of fit the higher class, that would have been Sporty Bob and Bet the Beach Yankee, and even to an extent Shredder. So again, it's almost like those races where you take the maturity angle. I mean, you could have went with that route. I didn't do it. I hope some people did. And yeah, like you said, the early pace certainly fell into his favor as well. He was in the right spot. Jason Ryan gave him a perfect steer.
Back in front of us, the winner of race number one. It's number six, Bet the Beach Yankee, a 3-year-old betting line, brown colt, owned by Gino Toscani, trained by Ashley Lenvoy. Jason Ryan's the winning driver. It's the third win for Bet the Beach Yankee this year and a lifetime. 154 flat. The first race payout six. Bet the Beach Yankees 1620, 720, and 410. Three Wild Dog Holiday 380, 295. Sporty Bob 280. $2 exactor $61. Dollar try 56.65. Dollar super 178.30. The first race order finish from the top. 652431. Once again, in program order 652431 on the bottom.
Bet the Beach Yankee getting the job done in the opening dash this evening at Grand River Raceway, and did so at a nice price of 7-1. And judging by the doubles, it looks like, yeah, nice knockout to kick off that pick five wager. And if your tickets on the floor like mine, well, you're going to want to jump in on this early pick four starting right here in race number two. Even if you are still alive, might as well still jump in for this guaranteed pool at $2,500 low takeout. 15%. And there's my ticket, just $3.20, inexpensive, 2x2 by 4. And we're going to single up on the 5, watch her do it here. So that there's two horses from the Barrington barn. I kind of like them both, but I wanted to take a stand and just use one of them to kind of save my equity. And watch her do it kind of has the class edge over Blue Glamber. And I think has class edge over many in here because that optional 25 claiming tag race or class is a pretty tough one at Mohawk Park. Faced some pretty strong horses. I think she's going to fare very nicely against this group here and will end up being the heavy favorite. She's singled for me. Just a 6 and 7 in race number 3. Again, kind of playing the angle. Maybe we should have played in the opening dash with the horses that kind of fit the higher class in that race. Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire. Race 4, the 2 and 5, Sweet Gadgets and the Turning Point. I think those are the two you want to be involved in the most in there. And then the money leg, 2-year-old maiden pacers in race 5 are going 2, 4, 5, and 6. But at the end of the day, I mean, you could certainly use more in there, or maybe like Conley did, you get down to one if you really like one like the 6. What's your limits? Is my top choice, but off a break. Now coming to the river over this surface for the first time, I couldn't, be that bold. So I went 4 deep in there. $3.20 though is the cost of my 20-cent early pick 4 ticket. Look at Conley's ticket. I'm assuming he's going to come right down to a key again in that race 5 on the 6. What's your limits? And he does 5 and 6 here. So again, those are the two that I was kind of deciding between the two Barrington horses. He opted to use them both. Watch her do it and Blue Glamber. 4, 6, and 7 in race 3, so can't get you out of my mind. And then those two on the outside, Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire. Then 1, 2, 4, and 5 in race 4. So a race where I kind of took a stand and just went with Sweet Gadgets and the Turning Point. He's going to go 4 deep there. Use 4 of the 6. And then in that money leg, he's singling up on the 6. What's your limits? And again, I like the replays of this Son of Better Delight, but the problem is that made a break last time. How's he going to get around this surface here at Grand River? I couldn't do that. I think there's quite a few that might be able to take that dash down. But Conley went alone on the 6. What's your limits for $4.80? The cost of his ticket in this early pick 4. We had a couple minutes to map out your winning wagers for this early pick 4 sequence. Again, the pool's guaranteed at $2,500. The takeout's always a low 15%. We'll come back in just a few moments to take a closer look at the upcoming dash.
Field 4, race number 2 is on parade. One is PJ Dina Austin, sorry for Corey Giles and Michelle Tart. Number 2 is Cool Cute Cookie, Brett McDonald Drive for Dwayne Marfisi and Royce Broxton and Harbsing Dillon and Daryl Kaplan and Green and Gold Limited. Number 3 is Maple, Travis Henry for Isaac Waxman and Tess Waxman and Michelle Tart and John Allaire. Number 4, Ladies from Hell, Scotty Calder for Mike Sumner and Shay Sumner. Number 5, Watch Her Do It, Jason Ryan for Shane Barrington and Max Stable. And number 6, Blue Glamber, Tyler Moore for Shane Barrington and Imagine Stable. Field of 6, race 2, Brett McDonald drives number 2. Let's get a look at this field, and, well, Watch Her Do It is one that was able to do it 12 times this year, 12 wins in 22 starts, and the one that we both have on top, Rob.
Yeah, and I couldn't go against her here. I mean, she's been one that has certainly racked up the victories this year for trainer Shane Barrington, and I think this just looks like a real good spot for me. She's heavy favorite in the double, so I'm assuming we're going to see these odds plummet come post time. But she's been competing in racing for an optional tag at $25,000. That's a non-winners of 4,000 last 5 at Mohawk Park, and that race can come up tough at times, right? You got a lot of horses. You see the horse she's racing against: Twinbee Tipster, Battle with Desire, Bloom Me a Kiss, and then before that, she's actually winning races, at that level. So I just think she might prove to be too much for these, and right now at 2-1, I'd highly doubt that price holds up. I think she probably goes down to odds on come post time, Gary.
And Blue Glamber is one that I saw a lot back when Travis Cullen had this one. Now has been kind of bouncing around, has been with a lot of different barns for the last little while, but Blue Glamber is one that I've seen do a lot of good things. And look at 13 wins since the 1st of January last year.
Yeah, Blue Glamber last time was a good winner too, right? And the thing is, second start or third start now for Shane Barrington. I actually was all over this horse first start for this barn off the claim. Didn't work out. Got away out the gate. Ended up finishing 7th. Then came right back to win the next start 2 weeks later, and did so in impressive fashion. Yeah, we've seen a lot of this horse, racing on the small track as well, right? And even in the Battle of the Bells, I remember I thought that she was going to win the Battle of the Bells when she was kind of making a move when she was 2 years old, but she ended up fading back to 7th in that race. But I remember just thinking she was had a chance in that dash. So she's certainly used to these surroundings here at the river, and I think to me she's like the main danger. So I'm not sure why she's a 7-1 on the board right now. I think both Barrington horses here should take a lot of support.
And number 4, Ladies from Hell. Last time out, I took Ladies from Hell on top. How'd that work out?
Didn't work out well. No,
9th.
did not work out well. But the thing is, though, is that you're probably handicapping her and liking her chances because you thought she would get to the front, which didn't happen. Right? So that's kind of the thing with Ladies from Hell I've always kind of mentioned, is that when she gets to the front, she gets things her own way. She swells up and she's tough to get past. If she faces a lot of adversity, then it becomes much tougher for her, as for any horse really. But she's just one in particular that needs to be, I think, first or second, and doing so with things in her favor to kind of get the job done. Now she's had a tremendous year, 6 for 23. She's had 14 on the board finishes. I just don't know how it's going to go in here, because I think she took some pretty tough horses in the ones to her right, and maybe even one like PJ Dina on the rail. So I think that Ladies from Hell, best chance here is to get to the pylon, sit a trip, and then see what she can get.
Number 3, Maple. Isaac Waxman trains this one. We'll see him drive in the 9th with that high 5 guaranteed pool as well. And Maple, 7-1, is not without a shot to win in here.
No, I I think that Maple's kind of interesting in here. Last time Isaac was at the lines, now he hands the lines back over to Travis Henry. Was racing in those condition claiming ranks before that, first of an era. JS bet this lady, they'd be more than competitive against this group. So I think Maple's an overlay right now at 8-1. PJ Dina taking all the support on the inside. I can't get there at that price of 3-2. I mean, I think the horse has a chance. It does have early speed and might be able to push out of there off the gate. I just think that's way too short of a number.
Austin Sorry and PJ Dina, the 8-5 favorite. It's PJ Dina, Cool Cute Cookie on the inside of the center. Maple, Ladies from Hell to the outside. Watch Her Do It. And Blue Glamber, Field of Six, second dash on a fabulous Friday night as we are gathered up at the river. Field for the second race is at the start of the rough, and Ladies from Hell is going to blast with Watch Her Do It and Blue Glamber. Then PJ Dina, Cool Cute Cookie, and Maple is now racing second last as Blue Glamber is going to be trailing the field. But it is PJ Dina and Austin Sorry who's got the lead. Cool Cute Cookie is racing second and now is going to take back and find the pocket. Watch Her Do It is still traveling to the outside, and Ladies from Hell is on the inside fourth. And then it is Maple and Blue Glamber, and we're watching Watch Her Do It and Jason Ryan come on and try to grab the lead and take it from PJ Dina. 27-1 opening quarter. Watch Her Do It now clears to the front. PJ Dina's racing second. Cool Cute Cookie third. Ladies from Hell, then Maple, and Blue Glamber has to pass them all to win off at 27-1 opening quarter. The field heads up towards the half. Watch Her Do It and Jason Ryan with that lead over PJ Dina at a length and a half. Racing position third is Cool Cute Cookie as they roll past the half, and 55-4 solid fractions. And now stepping out is Cool Cute Cookie, and Ladies from Hell is following on the outside. And then it is Maple on the pylons and Blue Glamber to the outside, trailing the field. Watch Her Do It does it up to 3/4 with a lead of about 3/4 length over Cool Cute Cookie. PJ Dina to the inside is third. Ladies from Hell, Maple, and Blue Glamber, and on by 3/4 they go. Watch Her Do It, 4-5 of the board, is still getting tested by Cool Cute Cookie. PJ Dina inside third, 3/4, 124. And from the backfield now, Blue Glamber is coming on gamely. Blue Glamber is flying on the outside, and also coming is Ladies from Hell. On down the stretch where they come. Watch Her Do It is doing a lead of about 2.5 or 3 and is sharp all the way down the lane. Watch Her Do It is going to do it for Jason Ryan, and then it is Cool Cute Cookie and 3 across the track for a third, a mile of 1:53.3. Watch Her Do It. Rob was able to do it and look good doing it.
Yeah, and that was a deceptively quick half, right? I mean, I don't think they were going that much. I mean, I know that she had to work hard to get to the lead. 55-4 though, that's big. A couple of early panels there for a horse that, I like what Jason Ryan did though. He went forward off the gate, but kind of that delayed leave where he just kind of sat out there. As soon as they settled, he went on the attack. So obviously never ducking to the pylons, but waiting until they kind of all got in order. Then he went on the attack. And you know what? I'll be honest, Gary. It kind of went the way I thought it would go after that. She just overpowered them. I mean, she's coming out of a class that non-winners of 4,000 last 5 class at Mohawk Park is infinitely tougher, than this group. She was carrying a tag at $25,000, and now facing, again, when PJ Dina was taking support, she was racing for a tag of $10,500. I mean, that's a pretty big difference. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit pleasantly surprised that she went off of 4-5. I thought she might even dip lower than that.
And Cool Cute Cookie actually took some coin and raced better than we both anticipated, 7-2. So that last race was a bounce back and then carried it forward here.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, you know what? It was a good effort from her because she kind of went on the attack first over. I'm thinking she might back up and maybe, one of the horses that we're using underneath, like Ladies from Hell, or maybe the stablemate Blue Glamber is going to come by. And to be honest, the head of the stretch, I thought one of those two is definitely going to be second. But Cool Cute Cookie battled on gamely for the play spot. And Ladies from Hell, show some versatility, right? Claims the show spot, different tactics tonight. That'll likely help her going forward. But again, I'll be jumping on her bandwagon again when she finds the right spot where she can go down the road.
It's a 5-2-4-6. So far, it's the Jason Ryan show. Watch Her Do It at 4-5, scoring in the second. And back in front of us is 5. Watch Her Do It. 4-year-old He's Watching Baymare, owned by Max Stable and Shane Barrington. Shane Barrington's the trainer. It's the driving double for Jason Ryan, 13th win on the year, and the 15th lifetime. Watch her do it, 153 and 3. The second race payouts 5. Watch her do it, $362.20, $3. Too Cool Cute Cookie, $4, $3.94. Ladies from Hell, $4.60. The double of 6 and 5, we'll get to it in a moment. $2 exactor, $18.60. Dollar try, $35.45. Dollar super, $112.70. And that double of 6 and 5, $2 ticket is $37.20. Fans, just a reminder, coming up in races 5 and 9 this evening, we have the Super High 5 guaranteed pool, 7,500. Note the races 5 and 9 both have those guaranteed pools, Super High 5, 7,500. Races 5 and 9 this evening. Second race order finish from the top down to 526-314. That's 526-314 on the bottom. Once again, fans, just a reminder, races 5 and 9 tonight. That super high five guaranteed pool, 7,500. Super high five guaranteed pool, races 5 and 9. Field for the third on parade. One Cabot Tower. Paul McKenzie for Ken Oliver and Milton Young. Number 2, Kalina Diamond. Scott Culver, Gary Mahan, and Kimberly Mahan, and Kenton McKean. Number 3, Duchesne. Austin Sorry for Anthony Beaton and Lisa Lafort, and David Mercer and Mac Nichol and April Campbell. Number 4, Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Daryl Thiessen for Gary Murner and Mike Flynn. Number 5, Nora D. Travis Henry for Matt Dupuy and 8th Line Investments. Number 6, Ms. Quicksand. Jason Ryan for Marie Helene DuPont and CSL Stable. And number 7 is Faded Fire. Brett McDonough for Pam Forky and Mindy Findling Repco. Field of 7, race number 3. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, we've got a bit of a dispute between the handicappers. Ken Middleton and I have the 4, and well, you and Conley are on the 6, so we're of split minds, and those are the 2 that are taking most of the action right now. But number 6, Ms. Quicksand, Jason Ryan looking to get all 3 of the first 3 dashes.
Yeah, he's going to look to sweep the first 3 races on the card, and I think he's got a big chance to do so. Miss Quicksand, what has she done wrong here at Grand River? The answer is not much. You see right on her program page here, she's got 3 victories, in and around this level, and a third to boot as well in a race that was topped by Salzburg Olympia. I really think that she's the one to beat in here. I mean, you look at the class, the way it's written. Um, she doesn't fit the main class. She gets in on the also eligible numbers of 5,500 last 3 to draw outside, and that's why she's working from post 6. So I don't think it'll be any kind of a problem for her. So yeah, I think she's the horse to beat. I really believe that. Much like I thought Watcher Do It was the one to beat in the last race. I think she's the clear one to beat in here, and 2-1's not a bad number on a horse that's been doing very good things here at the River.
And look at her year last year. In 34 starts, she made $104,000. Ms. Quicksand can get over it rather quickly. But you know what? Number 7, Faded Fire, was in that race that you mentioned, and Faded Fire is one also that's got some serious credentials, and was a second at Salzburg Olympia at Georgian Downs in front of Exotic Dragon last time out in a solid race from post 5.
Yeah, I think Faded Fire is kind of. We both thought that she was kind of the main danger on July the 26th, and the value in that race, right? She went off at 10-1. I still think that was an overlay. Now she had to settle for second to Miss Quicksand, but she raced really well in doing so. And that victory that she had, the one over Sweet Gadgets was super impressive here, as well as the one, before that as well against Starlight Dancer. So I think she's, kind of put together a real nice run for trainer Pam Forgy. And I think that that last one, too, second to Salzburg Olympia. I mean, Salzburg Olympia is one we'd probably be willing to back in here. Exotic Dragon as well. She split those 2 and only got beat by half a length. So, 7-2. I mean, I think that she's the main danger, and she's value right now at that price. And I'm going to probably be playing a lot of exotics, 6-7, and then maybe even using them both on top of tries and supers.
Well, number 4, Can't Get You Out of My Mind, is the one that both Kenny and I took on top, and I feel confident in saying this, and the tote board's agreeing with me. I'm not out of my mind.
No, you're not at all. I think she fits in very nicely, and she should certainly be able to build off that latest victory. I just think that this is a much tougher task when you now throw in the likes of Miss Quicksand and Faded Fire. I mean, essentially, she's stepping up in class, stepping up in class, and I do think that those 2 do hold a pretty big edge over her in that department. Having said that, he might take a step forward off that 50 mile and be able to double up in here, right? For trainer Gary Murner. So third start back after missing some time. That's always a nice recipe for a good effort. I think that she gets a piece of it. I'm just gonna use her on the bottom end of the exotics, bottom end of the try and super.
Number 3, Duchesne, is one that was struggling at Mohawk in late May, then came here in the first start here. Terrible trip. But after that, man, things came together for Duchesne.
Yeah, absolutely. That first race here was left a lot to be desired, but then she bounced right back. Bottom condition, dominated, and then since then has turned in good efforts every single week. Even in one where she ended up being a penalty refund because she didn't really get a fair start when she got stuck in the pylons off the gate. So I think she's one that's got maybe sleeper potential in here. Upset potential at 8-1, but for me, again, one I'll use underneath in the exotics, try and super. For me, I'm going to really zero in on the 6 Miss Quicksand and play Faded Fire underneath, and then look to get Duchesne and Can't Get You Out of My Mind in the mix as well.
Well, I look at right now, Can't Get You Out of My Mind 9-5, and Miss Quicksand at 5-2, along with Faded Fire at 5-2. So the fans have zeroed in on those 3. We'll see how it unfolds as it's Cabot Tower, Kalina Diamond on the inside. In the center, Duchesne, Can't You Get You Out of My Mind, in Nora D. And to the outside, Ms. Quicksand, Faded Fire. Field of 7, race number 3, they're about to fire. They're headed into the backstretch, nearing the start. And the field for race number 3. is at the start. And they're off, and getting out alertly right now is Duchesne, and Nora D. Can't Get You Out of My Mind is now second as Nora D takes back a bit, and Cabot Towers on the inside. Then it is Kalina Diamond and Ms. Quicksand, and Fated Fires trailing the field. Duchesne with the lead, and Can't Get You Out of My Mind is going to fill the pocket in behind Duchesne, who is 17-1. Cabot Towers third. Nora D is in mid-pack racing fourth, and a gap of a length and a half or two to Kalina Diamond, and right now Miss Quicksand and Fated Fire are trailing the field, and Duchesne off at 26-3 sharp opening panel. We'll look for a breather, but now Can't Get You Out of My Mind says to heck with that, and pops out and comes on now, and is going to make the front and Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Duchesne's racing second. Cabot Tower is third. Then it is Nora D racing fourth, and Kalina Diamond, Miss Quicksand, and Fated Fire are the two trailers as they race on up to the half. 26-3/4, half of 55-3. 29 in the second panel. Can't Get You Out of My Mind, 4 to 5 on the board. And now from the backfield, Miss Quicksand is starting to move and bringing Fated Fire with her. They race the round towards three-quarters. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Racing second to Shane, and now Miss Quicksand is moving quickly on the outside. Cabot Tower, Fated Fire now has come on to take over fourth. Cabot Tower is fifth, and then Nora D. And back to Kalina Diamond, but Can't Get You Out of My Mind. They're going to have to work to get by her. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Three-quarters, 124. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Ms. Quicksand is getting closer now. On the inside, Duchesne and Fated Fires the field about to turn for home. Can't Get You Out of My Mind, still working hard on the lead. Can't Get You Out of My Mind, on down the stretch where they come. Can't Get You Out of My Mind, and Ms. Quicksand can't get that one from winning. It is Miss Quicksand second, Duchesne third, Fated Fire 152-2. Can't Get You Out of My Mind, Robert.
Yeah, no, she was really good. I mean, she obviously, left hard off the gate. You can saw Miss Quicksand wanted to go forward off the switch. It just wasn't going to happen. Another race where a lot of inside levers kind of prevented those outside horses from getting away well. And then Can't Get You Out of My Mind makes that move to the lead around the 3/8 pole, and that's the difference in the race at that point. And she holds court. Miss Quicksand, valiant effort to try to catch her, but she was just too good. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. It said, she takes a step forward off that latest effort, she'll be tough. Well, she did. She went 2 ticks quicker, 52-2, and kind of holds that one at bay with relative ease, anyways. So yeah, Miss Quicksand, nice effort again. I thought that she ended up being the value in my opinion at 3-2, but could not get to this horse, and I underestimated her ability, no doubt about it. Converts as the odds-on choice.
And really looks strong coming all the way to the finish. There you see Daryl laying back in the bike, but she didn't need a lot of help.
No, she didn't. No, and I love the aggressiveness of Daryl Thiessen, though, right? That's kind of a big part of this victory. I mean, last time she's got the trailing post, she overcomes that to score by a comfortable margin. She faces tougher this time around, knowing they've got the outside draw. You want to get forwardly placed, try to put as much separation in there, and that's what he did when he made the move to the lead. So, heck of a steer and a heck of a horse.
Duchesne actually was able to hold off Fated Fire, so at least helps that try ticket because we really thought the 4, 6, and 7 were the top three. And Fated Fire is probably 8-1 because it's outside.
Yeah, I think so. And the thing is, we were talking about how those outside posts are kind of ones that are going to continue to get put more into play. It's tougher though when all the horses towards their inside leave out of there, right? I mean, we've seen the outside horses that have been flourishing lately, able to kind of ambush horses on the inside and come around them. Have not seen that as much tonight. There's been a lot of inside speed, and it's kind of hurt those outside draws. So Fated Fire was kind of the victim of that time around, but I think her game plan was to race from off the pace anyways with the outermost post, and I think we'll see her come back nicely off that effort at this class.
It's a 4-6-3-7 top four in race number 3, and wheeling back in front of us is number 4. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. A 4-year-old Always Be Mickey Bay mare. Owned by Mike Flynn of Waterloo. Gary Murner is the trainer. Daryl Cheeson, the winning driver. 3rd win this year. And the 7th win lifetime for number 4. Can't Get You Out of My Mind. The third race payouts four can't get you out of my mind. 360, 240, 230. Six Ms. Quicksand, 260 and 250, and three to Shane, 450. $2 exactor, 660. Dollar try 11.20. Dollar super, $30.10. Once again, fans, a reminder in the fifth race and the ninth race this evening, the Super High Five guaranteed pool of 7,500. In that fifth race, scratched is one five-star Lou, and Tyler Moore drives number five, Not a Bad Guy. But note, race number five, Super High Five, guaranteed pool, 7,500. The third race, order of finish from the top down, 6731524. That's 6731524 on the bottom. Once again, fans, note that Super High Five races 5 and 9. As you see on the screen, the pool is guaranteed at 7,500. That's races 5 and 9, the High Five guaranteed pool. Field for race number 4 on parade. One is Happy Looker, Travis Henry for Mark Winnicott, and Donald Smith and Donna Parker. Number 2 is Sweet Gadget, Steve Houdon for Laura Toscani. 3 is Ardine Gracie, Brett McDonough for Daryl Holmes and Gerald Holmes. 4, Sheila's Rush, Paul McKenzie for Ken Oliver and Milton Young. 5 is The Turning Point, Scott Kohler for Shane Barrington and Sylvain Cote and Robert Bernicke. And number 6, Treasures Watching, Andre Goy drives and trains for Don Leschied. Field of 6, race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, in this race, we have the 4 handicapper split again. In this case, though, you and I are both on the 2 Sweet Gadgets, and Kenny and Conley are on the 5. So we're splitting it up again. And look we're sitting at 8-1 on number 2, Sweet Gadgets.
Yeah, I can't imagine that price holding come post time, Gary, because I mean, listen, I thought that this is one that I even considered singling, in the pick 5 and the pick 4 wager, because that win on June 28th was an impressive one. Had an inside draw on that occasion, got away fourth off the gate, rushed to the lead. Now, it was a pretty soft group for the class, but now she's down even a notch after that. Now, she raced back at that level last time out, but look who the winner was. Can't get you off my mind. Deshane was second, Stonebridge Drama third. That was a very tough installment of that race. It went 52-4, a little too much for Sweet Gadgets, and I don't think she has to worry about anything like that tonight. And gets down that further notch on the class ladder should only help her chances. Good draw for her as well. We've seen the inside kind of be the place to be because of speed from those inside posts so far this evening, and I think Sweet Gadget is going to have to try to get activated early in this mile. And I think anything above 3 or 4 to 1's value.
Yeah, and I often love to marvel at the big prices of yearlings. Well, this is one that was a $6,000 yearling. Now look, now you're looking at a 5-year-old, so it really doesn't matter. But I love to see people getting value.
Absolutely, yeah. She's already made almost 90,000 in her career.
And number 5, the Turning Point. That's one that you've been kind of on July the 19th. Well, 53-4 winner. It's been a little bit of time, but still, it's a little under 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was a big bounce back effort too, because if you remember, she got a perfect trip on July the 12th, like perfect second over trip. I thought she was going to win for fun. She ends up fading back to ninth. She comes back 1 week later, and then she just dominated. Right, she won by 2 lengths over Cozy Up, and did so at a decent price. Now, I thought she was going to likely be the favorite in here. She's 5-1 right now. It's first start for Shane Barrington. A little bit of time between starts, but I don't mind that when going to a new barn, and I think she'll likely be able to maintain that form. I thought we were going to see all the support go in the direction of the Turning Point and Sweet Gadgets. Right now, not doing that. It's all going for the 4, Sheila's Brush.
I've been disrespecting Happy Looker, and last time out again, Happy Looker raced really well. In fact, you were shocked that Kalina Diamond won that race. Well, Happy Looker also was a really good blast to the front. It was a good, solid second.
Yeah, Kalina Diamond kind of fired right off the bench, and it was a good effort, and Happy Looker was a solid second. Now, I kind of thought Happy Looker was trending in the right direction. Then we had that miscue, right? 3 starts back, and then after a break in stride, I always kind of just don't pay too much attention to the next race because usually a flat line is going to be the main priority. And then more aggressively handled last time out, and it was a good second. So pole position. I remember Happy Looker was always a horse that had those gears off the switch, and she's been doing that more as of late. I think we'll see it again tonight from her. I think she's going to push out of there, and she should be in the mix throughout. Just not sure she can get the better of one like Sweet Gadgets or the Turning Point if they bring their A game.
We've seen a couple of 26-3 opening quarters from her during her last 4 starts, so she can get off the switch. Travis Henry can get one rolling. At number 6, Treasures Watching. This is one that dropped down in class last time out, and it did race better because that July 19th effort here, that wasn't all that great.
Yeah, no, it was for me. It was between Sheila's Brush, who's right now 6-5, or Treasures Watching at 21-1 for fourth. And the thing is that one was first over last time, and one sat kind of a more favorable journey, right? So they weren't all that far apart at the wire, and one got a much tougher trip. So Treasures Watching, to me, if you ever want to take a flyer on a bombs away type, 23-1's a monster number on a horse that kind of got a difficult trip last time and still raced okay to be fourth.
The problem for me with Sheila's Brush, and I did use this one for fourth, is the overall record on the year, but she's been better of late.
She has been, but 0 for 16 this year, 4 on the board finishes, just 2 for 40 last year. I think she's a horse you can use in the exotics all day. I'm surprised that she's kind of maintained this favoritism throughout. I thought she'd be, third or fourth choice in here. Might still see a shift come post, and we see Sweet Gadgets now down to 5-2. To me, that's more so the price she should go off at.
I suspect Sweet Gadgets will end up being the favorite over Sheila's Brush because I don't see the 0 for 16 Sheila's Brush being the favorite, and there's still a lot of money that will come in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always the last couple of clicks behind the gates where it all comes in, and the 3 Ardeen Gracie last time out actually needed this one at Hanover last week. Got a good trip. Ended up finishing a decent enough third, but I thought could have done more with that journey. Is a useful type that has speed off the gate, so she probably just going to look to get to the piles and sit and see what she can get. But I think she should be, probably double digits. She's sitting at 17-1 right now.
Well, Ardine Gracie and Treasures Watching are the two that the fans are not enamored with. The money is very balanced between the rest. It's still hanging in there for Sheila's Brush. And also, if you're already taking a sneak peek into the fifth race for that super high five, any thoughts while we're awaiting the start of this? I know you have six. What's your limits? You got a few horses coming in off of breaks. The three Harborlight, Jimmy, and six. What's your limits?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because of that, right? You've got a lot of horses that are coming into this with obviously inexperienced horses that have made breaks recently. I guess the horse I'm intrigued by is the two Touch and Go Hanover. I thought that that lifetime debut at Mohawk Park, really wasn't indicative of what he might be capable of. He got away fifth off the gate, kind of got shuffled back. I thought he still had pace on the end of it. Came home in 27-1. I just think he's the one that's intriguing. I want to get a look at him on the track, and then we'll go from there. But I think he might be the one to kind of use in the top three positions, for the strategy I mentioned last time.
Yeah, the two here is a $6,000 yearling. The two in race 5, 105,000 at Harrisburg. A little bit of a gap. It's a field of 6 for race number 4, taking up their positions. Happy Lookers, Sweet Gadgets. In the center, Ardine Gracie and Sheila's Brush to the outside, the turning point, and Treasures Watching. It's a field of 6 for race number 4. They're all in position. Field for the fourth race is in the backstretch nearing the start. They've reached the start. And they're off, and blasting out comes the turning point. The turning point is able to get right out and grab the lead. Then Sweet Gadgets and Happy Looker and Sheila's Rush, Ardine Gracie, and Treasures Watching is watching from a trailing spot. The turning point, 6-5, but Sweet Gadgets wants to press on towards the lead. Sweet Gadgets and Steve Houdon wants to come on and try to clear to the front over the turning point as they work their way on around the turn. Happy Looker is third. Opening panel was 26-3. Sweet Gadgets, the turning point. Happy Lookers racing third. And now coming right back out on the retake will be the turning point in Scotty Coulter. And Happy Looker is going to quickly pounce up now. Happy Looker wants to try to loop the turning point as the turning point's going to clear to the front. The turning point. Happy Looker and Travis Henry throws down the gauntlet right now and coming after the turning point as they go on around the turn into the backstretch. And Sweet Gadgets is third. Sheila's Brush fourth. And then Ardine Gracie and Treasures Watching. It's the turning point at 6-5 on the board. Happy Looker grinding first over is moving up closer. And then Sweet Gadgets and Ardine Gracie from the backfield now has come on gamely and is moved up to take over fourth and is only 2.5 off the lead. Then it is Treasures Watching and Sheila's Brush is trailing the field. The turning point has the lead. Sweet Gadgets on the inside. Happy Looker now is weakening it out. 3 wide is Ardine Gracie. And Ardine Gracie is battling to take second from Sweet Gadgets. 3/4, 125-2. The turning point. Ardine Gracie looks alive. And on the inside, Sweet Gadgets is waiting for the passing lane. And then it is Treasures Watching as the field turns for home. The turning point. Sweet Gadgets looking to dart on the inside. The turning point is sharp. The turning point continues to turn those wheels quickly. The turning point is going to win. Treasures Watching second. Then Sweet Gadgets and Ardine Gracie. 155-3. The turning point and Scotty Coulter was very effective in the fourth race, turning those wheels quite effectively, Robert.
Yeah, absolutely. Turning point, got obviously forwardly placed off the gate. Gary released, had to make multiple moves, right? Released Sweet Gadgets, came back around, then had to immediately take on pressure from Happy Looker. I was kind of surprised that one came out immediately, but I guess thinking you might be attacking a horse is kind of winded after the start of this race. That was the game plan there, and then you've got Ardine Gracie making that first over bid, and Sweet Gadgets I thought might be able to offer more out of the pocket there, but I think I was kind of hoping he'd be able to just slip into the 2-hole off the gate. When that didn't happen, I said, okay, this is kind of she's getting used a little more in the early stages than I would have liked, and the turning point was just too good for them. I mean, Shane Barrington, obviously had some time to tinker with this horse in between starts off that win last time here at the River, and now he's got 2 victories tonight, both from post 5.
Well, and Number 5, the Turning Point, ends up being the favorite, but at least you get the 35 to 1 shot. Treasures Watching to come into second spot.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. I was kind of surprised how big the price was on her after I thought it was a pretty good effort last time out. She had dropped down to this level. I thought she raced, respectively. I only had her pegged for fourth, but I thought that she was an overlay on the board, and she raced pretty well, all things considered. I mean, she moved nicely into second. I thought that Sweet Gadgets would be able to hold her position off that trip. No can do. Treasures Watching goes by, and that's going to really boost the value of these exotics here, splitting those two favorites.
And Ardine Gracie was good. Sweet Gadgets up the passing lane. The passing lane wasn't quick in there.
No, yeah, I mean she got used pretty hard though at the start, so I wasn't surprised to see her kind of not finish with a lot of vigor, but I do think that she'll be able to bounce back and do good things in this class. Just would like to see her maybe get an easier go of it in the early stages.
It's a 5-6-2-3 top four. Back in front of us is number 5, the Turning Point. Scotty Calder with the winning drive. 5-year-old JK End of an Era brown mare, owned by Sylvain Cote and Robert Bernanke. Shane Barrington's the trainer. It's the 5th win this year, 9th lifetime. The Turning Point, 155-3. The 4th race payouts. 5, the Turning Point, 453.93.10. 6 Treasures Watching, 823.62. Sweet Gadgets, $290. $2 exactor, $135. Dollar Try, $227.65. Dollar Super, $509.25. Fourth race order finish from the top down is a 6-3-4-5-1-2. That's 6-3-4-5-1-2 on the bottom. Fans, this fifth race coming up in 7 minutes. Note it features the Super High Five guaranteed pool, $7,500. Note race 5, Super High Five guaranteed pool, $7,500. Well, race number 5, 5 minutes to post time. The Super High Five, $7,500 guaranteed pool. And, well, we're going to have a discussion about how to handicap this, and we'll bring in our handicapping expert because, well, sometimes we need some expert help. And this is a race that you definitely need some expert help because this is a real puzzle. There are some positives, there are some things to be concerned about. And you wound up going with what's your limits on top. Well, one thing to be concerned about, made a break last time out. My top one also was coming in off of a break, but what's your limits? 1 to 5, I guess people aren't that limited by that break.
No, I mean, I figured he was going to take a lot of support, Gary. And for me, like, this is kind of a race where we're going to want to get a look at them on the track before I kind of get locked into, the way I would play it, who might end up being the horse that I kind of surround a ticket with. I mean, I do like What's Your Limits because the fifth place finish, 2 back and on with one was decent enough. And then last time, I think he might have been done for good things in that race before making that break in stride. He was getting forwardly placed, had the 2-hole actually when he made that miscue, take himself out of it. So, it's definitely a difficult dynamic, though, right? You've got 2-year-old maidens in this race, like you said. Some are coming into this off breaks in stride, others off, some so-so performances. One off a vet scratch 6. So it's a lot of different variables in this race. And it's try to navigate that and try to put the right ticket together to get one of those big payouts. I mean, we saw that with this guarantee, we saw tremendous payouts on Wednesday night. Went over $1,500 and went over $1,600 for 20 cents.
Yeah, maybe the thing with what's your limits, if you go 2 back, that's a pretty competitive start. Tailed off a little bit in the late going, but was still a 28-1 final quarter, so we're not talking about tailing out badly. That's probably as good a line as you see on anybody in this program.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's a real solid effort. I mean, the thing is though, is that it's not like the break last time's an anomaly, right? We see 4 starts, we see 2 miscues, and now we're moving to the 5/8 of a mile surface here from the big track there. I mean, when the transition would have been to the half here at the river, it'd be probably a big time play against for me. The 5/8 is probably not as big as a transition, so you should be able to handle it. And getting to softer company is likely going to help his chances out a lot as well. That's why you see so many of us kind of siding with that one on top. I think the logical one to put on top, but I don't think it's a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination.
One that you could just logically think about if you just look at the, $105,000 yearling has had just one start. Number 2, Touch and Go Hanover. Jack Darling, well, he's won lots of big races in his lifetime, so Touch and Go Hanover gets the best post position, and you do see a bit of a gate speed in the qualifiers. Had 3 qualifiers.
Yeah, three qualifiers to work with, and the thing is too is that I don't really hold that last start against him too much. Kind of a weird one. He got away fifth, kind of got shuffled back and looked like he might be kind of empty, but then he kind of came forward again in the stretch. So I think it's something to build on. 27-1 on the end of that mile. And obviously, it was meant to be a good horse, $105,000 yearling that has quite a few siblings. Is the first foal out of a very strong mare who's made almost $500,000. So I think that I do think that this is a horse that maybe you want to look at in zero. And I'm surprised no one else picked this one. You got strong connections, expensive yearling, and one that I think has a right to take a big step forward.
Number 4, Wicked Ending, your third choice. That's one that we got to see race here. You also see put into the grassroots twice. It just didn't work out, but then was much better here.
Yeah, I thought it was a good effort here. And ended up, finishing fourth, beating 4 lengths, and was in the mix throughout. And we always talk about the importance of having an effort over this surface, right? Whether it be a qualifier or a start. Maybe those are the horses we should be giving a longer look to, right? The ones that already have experience here at the river, because that's kind of proven to be a big factor throughout this season, especially for the youngsters. So we do have some horses that are going to take a lot of support that are coming here from Mohawk Park without a start over this surface yet. And again, it might make sense to maybe look at one that's already got that 5/8 of a mile experience and already raced here.
Look at the cappers. I'm kind of alone there with Harbor Light Jimmy, and the Conley uses that one for third. But other than that, everybody's staying away. Look, you talked about having experience at Grand River. Problem is, his experience here wasn't a good one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But you know what? I looked at this horse's siblings, right? I mean, you've got multiple five over winners over $100,000, and is a half brother to a Casimir Swamp Girl, a horse I'm very fond of. Won 28-71 of her career starts. So, I think that one's one that can kind of fly under the radar here. And again, had an excuse last time out, making that early break in stride, and I think can do better things this time around. Now you move down a spot on the gate to post 2. We've seen the inside of the gate kind of push out for get forwardly placed tonight. Maybe we see Harbor Light Jimmy do the same.
Well, we'll talk to you again after the post parade. Robert, as the field for race number 5, it is a field of 7 with that scratch of 1 5-star Lou. The post parade for the 5th coming up. Field for race number 5 on parade. 1 scratch, 2 is touch and go ahead of her. Jason Ryan for Jack Darling. Number 3, Harbor Light Jimmy. Austin Sorry for Kyle Bossons, who trains and owns along with Ralph Jardine. 4 is Wicked Ending. Scott Culliver, James Wellwood, and Jeffrey Wellwood. 5 is Not a Bad Guy. Tyler Moore for Sean Stacy and Hudson Santavards and Alan Sullen. Number 6, What's Your Limits? Brett McDonough for Scott McEnany and Peter Ferrantino. Number 7, Seize the Day. Paul McKenzie for Stephen Gillard and Marilyn Gillard. And Braid is Better Beast. Lauren House for Cassidy Schneider is the trainer, and the owner is Colonel Schneider Jr. Field of 7, race 5 to super high 5, guaranteed pool of 7,500. Note that Tyler Moore drives 5, Not a Bad Guy. And Robert, you wanted to get a look at number 6, What's Your Limits? And there is your look.
Yeah, What's Your Limits? Looks pretty good on the track right now, right? And obviously, we were going to have to see him at race speed or maybe scoring down before we know if he's going to like the surface here. He's got those 2 breaks on his card so far. But again, he does have a couple of nice efforts too. I mean, ones that would stack up very nicely against this group. And the grassroots and numbers of 1 at Mohawk Park. 4 to 5 on the board right now. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to take 4 to 5 on anyone on here, but again, if someone was to tell me, yeah, he's going to mind his manners tonight, then I'd probably think, okay, well, he's the most probable winner of this race. But it doesn't always play out that way, Gary. And again, in these kind of wagers here, especially right now, you're getting a massive overlay, folks. Just over $2,000 bet in this pool. The guarantee is $7,500. So get those wagers in now. You're going to want to look for some prices to kind of spice things up. And again, he looks good on the track, in my opinion. I think he's the most probable winner of the race, but not necessarily the one that I'm going to be using, in a ticket where I might use one in the top three positions.
In my original picks, I didn't use Touch and Go Hanover. And then just got thinking about it. And, it's Jack Darling. And yeah, that one start, it's not impressive. But as you mentioned, got kind of shuffled back. But Jack sends them out. And look, there's a reason why he's a $105,000 yearling. And there he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, first full at a Touchmatic, 33-time winner, almost 500,000 made. Like that score down. I like to see that. You see the tail end of it there, but looks pretty smooth. Looks pretty sharp, and I want to see a horse that is going to get scored down here, so we at least have an inkling to say, okay, we think this horse is going to go forward off the gate, right? I mean, we've seen that's kind of been proving positive tonight, getting forwardly placed, and I want to see whoever I back in here on the gate and going forward off it. So 5-1 a Touch Go Hanover. Like I said, he's probably the one that I might focus on right now to try to get down in the top two positions, maybe even the top three, and then surround him with some prices and hope that you can get the better numbers down for a big payout.
The thing that's interesting with Four Wicket ending to me, look, that last race here, they went a pretty slow half considering the mile, 59-1. So really, he couldn't come on and do much more. But his own back half was really sharp, 57.
Yeah, 57 flat in the back half, and again, he never really lost contact with the top finishers, right? I mean, kind of in the mix throughout. And I thought it was a decent enough effort. I'll be honest. I thought the 10-1 morning line was a little bit unfair. I thought he maybe deserved a little more respect than that because he does have that experience over this surface, and I thought it was a reasonably decent effort. So I think again, depends on where he lands off the gate. But I mean, my hope would be if I was backing him is just to sit a favorable trip as possible for as long as possible, and then see what you can get in the stretch, and maybe that might land him pretty high in this high five ticket. He's 8-1 right now, and I think that's probably maybe about the right number, maybe a tick or two lower come post time.
All these horses, 2 through 5, are all sitting at almost the same odds, plus the 7 sees the day. But you used 5, Not a Bad Guy, next. You get Tyler Moore. It is Sean Stacy. And it did have a start in the grassroots, but then had a start here, so some experience here.
Some experience here and did got into the race, right? Ended up being first over in that one. So I like when a horse gets, kind of gets to the outside, gets their lungs opened up, and obviously Sean hands over the lines to Tyler Moore here, which again I think that in itself it should merit a little more respect. And 3-1 on the morning line I thought was too low, but I think 7-1 might be too high. So somewhere in the middle is what his price should be, likely 5-1.
My 3 Harbor Light Jimmy, the reason why I was enamored, I thought the back half, I thought he looked really racy, at least to come on and be a part of it. And also, Kyle Boston's has had some success here. Austin Sorry's been on a real heater of late, especially at Georgian Downs. Harbor Light Jimmy, yeah, it made that break, but that's the only one I see on the dance card. And I think if Austin can get him off the gate smoothly, he might be a little more of a player than what the top board is suggesting.
Yeah, I think he's in with a chance. I really do. I mean, he made that break last time, but after that, the effort was okay. Races for connections. Kyle Boston's has tremendous success here at the River. He always has, and this is a horse that I think has some pretty good siblings too. As a foundation to work with. So I think Harbor Light Jimmy is one that you have to have in the high five ticket. Again, right now we're seeing one horse take all the support, 3-5 on What's Your Limits. Again, might go out there and win. To me, that's too short, in my opinion, on anyone in this race. And one like Harbor Light Jimmy is one I would be more than happy to use, pretty much everywhere in the high five underneath.
An interesting thought I just had. Both races 5 and 9 with the guaranteed money on Wednesday night. Posts 7 and 8 got into the top 4 in both of those 2 dashes, and those are the 2 horses we didn't bother talking about.
Well, they're the longest shots on the board right now. Right, I mean, you've got Seize the Day, who really, by all rights, hasn't raced all that bad in his efforts and got back down to favoritism, July 8th in a prospects event here. So I mean, maybe he should be getting more support. I mean, he's 9-1 right now, and Better Beast, a first time starter for Cassidy Schneider. Tough task. when you go into this as a first time starter against horses that already have race experience, and you've got to work from that innermost post in the contest. But I thought the qualifier was okay. I mean, I thought was kind of letting go on the end of the mile, and then kind of came on again and showed a little bit to me a little bit of vigor on the end of it, coming home in 30-1 though. So wasn't like eye catching by any stretch, but it was one that I thought was useful enough to say that maybe you'd want to use this horse somewhere underneath. I mean, I usually take an all anyways for the fifth spot. Sometimes even up to fourth if I'm not spending too much in the other positions. But right now, Gary, we're at just $4,500 right now in this pool, so we're still seeing an overlay of $3,000. It's a very lucrative wagering opportunity. You want to definitely not miss out on this one.
Maybe one of the reasons why Seize the Day is getting overlooked and yet shouldn't be as much so. It's just that scratch bet sick, because if you're looking at even money in a prospect series, in a race that actually he raced well, I think it's just the scratch bet sick because now the last line is July the 8th.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, when they're rookies, 2-year-olds. I mean, I don't. I guess I don't put as much stock in the time between starts because a 2-year-old can kind of improve so much between one start to the next. Now, when you're facing a field that's all kind of coming into this on a regular rotation, then obviously, yeah, he's at a fitness disadvantage, and when you add that to the post disadvantage, it even makes things more tricky for him. But I think he's one that he's got enough tactical speed that he might try to go forward off the gate. And the other thing that happens in these races that we talk about a lot is that youngsters that are prone to sometimes making these miscues, and we see horses in this race that do it, they might be gapped to the gate. They might also, misbehave, which lets the outside horses kind of get away better if that's the game plan. So, again, this is one that I'd be watching, like right to the word go here, and trying to find an angle.
Yeah, that's a good point that you made, because look at, if you've got a horse like Better Beast that can leave a little bit, even though it's the outside post, you might not have to do much work to pass two or three because they might be all off stride.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, more so with trotters, but again, in this race in particular, we see ones that have made breaks and done so early in the early stages, right? So, I'd be watching for that going to the gate, watching for body language. I mean, so far all the ones we've looked at, I think they look, pretty professional out there. Like they're gonna make a good account of themselves. But again, I usually kind of bet right to the bell, and I'd be watching them right to the word go to try to find any kind of edge, right? If a horse looks like he might act up or might misbehave beyond the gate, then maybe toss that one, especially if it's a favorite.
Strangely enough, now the one that you left off your top four and my top pick, Harborlight Jimmy, is dropped all the way down to being the second choice at 4-1.
Yeah, a lot of money coming in late on him, and we see what's your limits now kind of floating up a little bit. And again, everything we saw from What's Your Limits, again, we haven't had the camera on the whole time, but looked professional enough for me to think he's going to make a good account of himself today. But again, those two breaks occurred, in race, and I still 4 to 5 on. I think we'll both agree 4 to 5 on anyone in this field is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I just want to see. I want to see Better Beast and Seize the Day. One of those two get onto the ticket, just because of people being a little uncertain about the outside post. And so far on these high fives, we've seen the 7 and 8 get onto both of the tickets that we had the guaranteed pool on Wednesday night.
And that certainly helps boost the payouts, right? Because it's very easy, when you're playing, especially a track like the River, where the outside has not had much success in the past. It's easy to say, you know what, those are the spots I'm going to toss. So, again, we'll see if they can do it again in this spot. It should be an interesting dash nonetheless.
Well, they've had more success of late. We'll see if that carries forward here. But it is the fifth race field taking up their positions. Touch and Go Hanover. Harborlight Jimmy on the inside. In the center, it's Wicked Ending, not a bad guy. To the outside, What's Your Limits and Seize the Day. And Better Beast on the far outside. It's a field of 7 for the fifth race. They're all smoothly in position. And the field for race number 5. is at the start of their off and sees the day has broken stride. Not a bad guy and Wicked Ending, the first couple to leave. Then it is Wicked Ending third away. Touch and go ahead of her. Harbor Light Jimmy is away smoothly to race from fifth, and then Better Beast and What's Your Limit at 6-5 of the board is trying to drive on and grab the lead. And now What's Your Limits has the front, and then Not a Bad Guy is racing second. What's Your Limits and Brett McDonald's got the lead. Not a Bad Guy and Talamore is racing second. Then a gap for 3 or 4. Wicked Ending is racing position to third, and then fourth in line is Touch and Go Hanover in front of Harbor Light Jimmy. And then it is back to Better Beast and Seize the Day, and they work their way up towards the half of a 28-2 opening quarter. What's Your Limit, 6-5 of the board, is doing the work on the lead and being right now watched by Tyler Moore, and Not a Bad Guy at 11-1 in the pocket. Wicked Ending is third. Touch and Go Hanover is racing fourth, and Harbor Light Jimmy on the inside. Now from the backfield, Seize the Day after an early break is coming on, and Better Beast. And they work their way on past the half of 59-4. What's Your Limits of a 28-2 and 59-4 splits. There goes Wicked Ending now from third. And Wicked Ending is coming on against What's Your Limits. And on the inside third, Not a Bad Guy. Touch and Go Hanover is spotted second over fourth and is moving up. But What's Your Limits is sharp on the lead. What's Your Limits and Wicked Ending. Not a Bad Guy is third, 3/4 in 129. Touch and Go Hanover, Harbor Light Jimmy on the inside is racing fifth and saving ground and is blocked on the inside, and then it is back to Seize the Day, and Better Beast in the field turns for home, and it is What's Your Limits. What's Your Limits, Wicked Ending, Touch and Go Hanover, sell out wide and darting down to the inside. Not a Bad Guy. What's Your Limits, Not a Bad Guy. What's Your Limits is going to win. Not a Bad Guy second. Harbor Light Jimmy found a seam up the inside to get third. Then Touch and Go Hanover and Wicked Ending. A mile of 1:57.3. What's Your Limits gets the job done, Rob, as the betting favorite.
Yeah, betting favorite gets home here, Gary. And you know what? I mean, when he got off the gate cleanly, it certainly looked like it might just be a formality after that. I mean, especially that second quarter breather. He had shown enough in the races that he'd stayed flat at Mohawk Park that, listen, if he minds his manners, he's going to be tough to beat. A couple times there, I thought they were kind of getting to him, but in the end, it was pretty easy for What's Your Limits. And again, a horse that I was comfortable putting on top, but not going alone with in any of the multi-leg wagers, and even in my high five tickets. I mean, I wasn't zeroing in on him on top as one I would single up there. So, but good effort though for this 2-year-old son of Better's Delight. He ends up holding off Not a Bad Guy coming up the inside there passing lane. That's a tough spot to kind of come from for Not a Bad Guy. So I think it's a good effort for him too. But your horse Harbor Light Jimmy kind of got into a rough spot there before shaking loose late. So he's one to watch for next time.
Yeah, and when he did shake loose, he had a lot. So that's one that you can now look at. And the key was, of course, they needed to get a flat line. So that was the first order of business. And Austin was kind of cautious with that one at the start.
Yeah, I thought so. And the thing is, like you said it right there. That's one of my hesitations with him is that that the main priority's got to be to get that flat line, right? And that kind of was kind of accomplished, early on in the mile, and he broke before the start last time, and then again was full of pace on the end of it. So one we'll look at for next time should be Brave. I thought Wicked Ending, decent effort first over, kind of looked like he was coming forward, then kind of getting tired, coming forward again. And Touch and Go Hanover for me, again, I might kind of track him going forward, but I wouldn't be in a hurry to come back to him yet. I'd want to see maybe a little more maturity from him before I'd back him again.
Back in front of us, the winner of race 5 and the top 5 are 6-5-3-4-2. That's 6-5-3-4-2. Number 6, What's Your Limits? A 2-year-old Better is Delight, Bay Colt, owned by Scott McEnany and Martin West Racing and Peter Ferrantino. Scott McEnany, the trainer. Brett McDonald, the winning driver. What's Your Limits? 157-3. The fifth race, payout 6. What's your limits? 460, 320, 250. 5. Not a Bad Guy, 710, 390. 3. Harborlight Jimmy, 290. The $2 exactor numbers 6 and 5, 25, $10 try, 51.50. Dollar pick 3, 16.45. Dollar pick 4, 34.20. Dollar pick 5, 248.30. Dollar high 5, 283.60. Fifth race, order of finish from the top. Scratch 5342176. That's scratch 5342176 on the bottom.
5 races in the books and just 9 on the card tonight. So we're going to have the late pick four starting right here in race number 6. Same low takeout of 15% on this wager. And well, you'll see for me, I've mapped it out with another single from post 5. And we're going to start off here with the 2 and the 6. Better Stop Me Now. Smoking Hot Dude, just those two. Then the 2, 3, 4, and 5, and what I think kind of looks like a wide open event in race number 7, especially between the horses that I've got on the ticket there, and just the 5 in race number 8. That's All Bets on Red, one that I've been kind of tracking and thought has been racing better than advertised in each of his last 3 after getting that victory at Mohawk Park, and then in that finale, where we're going to have another super high 5 guaranteed pool, $7,500. Well, I'm going to go deep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gary's going to say I don't handicap the race, but I did. Um, to be honest, it's a Billings Amateur Driving Series event, and I think those can sometimes produce prices. And really, I think a lot of those horses are kind of evenly matched. So if we're going to see some bigger numbers on the board among some of those, then I'd want to have a bunch of them in there. So what I did was I left off the 2 mares that drew on the inside, the 1 and the 2, and used the rest of them, $9.60 for a 20-cent wager. Again, all hinging on the 5. All Bets on Red in race number 8. We'll see what Conley's got in store for us. I want to see his approach actually for that finale. Kind of tricky to handicap those races at times. We'll see what he's done here. Again, don't forget another one of those guaranteed high 5s in race number 9, the finale tonight. $7,500 is the guarantee on that pool in race number 9. 2-6 for Conley here. So we're in the same neighborhood here in the opening leg. Then he's going 1, 2, and 4. So he's got 2 of the 4 that I'm using, and actually one I'm not using with the 1 raw power. He's got the 1 and 5 in race number 8. So he's got All Bets on Red, but he also has Better Than Never. And then, well, he's got the same idea in race number 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So he went to the 2, and I went to the 8. So we're in the same neighborhood, spreading out in that amateur driving series event in race 9. Again, those races can produce prices, and I'm sure that that's the idea for Conley as well. $14.40 is the cost for his ticket. We got a couple minutes to map out your winning wagers for this late pick 4 sequence. Again, starting here in race 6 this evening, low takeout 15%. And we'll come back in a few moments to take a closer look at race number 6.
Field 4, race number 6 on parade. 1 is Ace 44 Hawk, Steve Houdon for Joe Montour. Number 2, Better Stop Me Now, Scott Kohler for Greg McNair and Bradley Grant. Number 3, He's Still Watching, Lyle MacArthur drives and trains for Linda Wabbit and Tammy Aspen. Number 4 is Renegade Beach, Travis Henry for Matthew Panos and Matera Stables. 5 is Laser, Child Moore for Cassidy Schneider and Dr. Steve Taylor. And number 6, Smokin' Hot Dude, J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Dr. Terry Fried. It's a field of 6. It is race number 6. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Rob, number 2, Better Stop Me Now, your top pick, and one that, boy, the form isn't great, but the venue change could really make a difference. The one thing that stopped me from taking him on top was, well, July 9th was the last start.
Yeah, obviously that's always something we like to steer away from, right? That time between starts, and like to get behind horses that are racing on a regular rotation. But you got a barn change in between there, and now racing for Greg McNair. Good post to work from, and a horse that when you see that he stayed flat, he's produced efforts that should certainly put him in the mix of breaking through and made him breaking score here in this, obviously soft numbers of 4,300 life. I think that 9-5 is probably about the right price. When he was even money a little while ago, that was probably too short. But I do think he ends up being the favorite. Right now, we see that shift to the 4 Renegade Beach, but I do think he ends up being the favorite in here. And again, I think it's one of those ones, Gary, where it's just going to be that venue change, that transition to softer company that's going to make all the difference.
Yeah, when you look at his speed and compare it to, he probably has the edge here. Of course, he's got to be fit and ready to rock and roll, and he's got to stay flat. But number 6, Smokin' Hot Dude, we both used this one for second. Smokin' Hot Dude was a good closer last time out.
I thought he raced tremendously well. I really do. I thought he raced really well. And I saw that, Ace 44 Hawk was taking money earlier and still is at 7-2. This one kind of got by him with ease. I mean, I would say the Ace 44 Hawk probably had a better trip on that occasion. And this one kind of got past him. I mean, with ease in the final strides. The margin might not be much, but after the wire, I mean, he was going away from that one. And I thought that he might be the horse to kind of get behind here as one that's trending in the right direction. And with the right kind of trip here, with the right kind of stuff happening in front of him, if he gets away last off the gate, which is definitely a possibility, he might be able to come out on top. And I think he's all the value right now at 8-1. I kind of pegged him as a value player on the card tonight. Well, I did peg him as a value player. I thought he'd be 3 or 4-1. We still might see that come post time, but right now I'm very intrigued by the 6 Smoking Hot Dude.
I went to one Ace 44 Hawk on top just because I had a feeling that I might be able to get just a little bit of a price, and I think he can be a different animal when he makes the lead. We saw that 2 starts ago. And on the inside, Steve Houdon might have this one flying early.
Yeah, and he gets back, down to the softer version of non-winners of 1, where he was a winner already, blasted off the wings of the gate from post 6 in that occasion. And you're right, loose in the lead, different animal. Last time out, sat a bit of a trip and kind of got tired on the end of it. Now, he went a fifth of a second faster, so maybe just kind of attribute it to facing that tougher group, and now he can do better against softer. The problem is that Smoking Hot Dude was in that race, and I thought he raced tremendously well and better than that one. So I'd have to rank that one ahead of him. And right now I'd say he's all the value at 7-1, and he's the horse I'll likely bet to win.
Number 3, He's Still Watching. The overall speed of 55-3 was fine, and the back half was fine, but he really hasn't broken through yet.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, the thing is like you said, the speed's kind of come down nicely, right? So for his mile times, he's progressed very well. 58-2, 56-3, then 55-3 last time out. He got put into play 2 back, ended up fading back to 5th in the race that was won by Ace 44 Hawk. again, a horse that I think is going to kind of continue to kind of figure it out with each start. And now you're getting value on him at 12-1. I mean, against this group, anyways, right? Like he's been a big price in all of his starts, but I think he's not out of this isn't out of reach for him if he takes a big step forward. So I think you got to use him on the bottom end of the exotics, but I'd be surprised if he lit the lamp tonight.
We both didn't use the 4 Renegade Beach on our top 4, and yet 6-5 on the board. One of us is wrong, us or the fans.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the price likely floats up come post time. I'd be shocked if the 2 is not the favorite. Better stop me now come post time. I think that was going to be the favorite. But Renegade Beach, 9 starts this year, 3 seconds. Those 3 seconds reside in his last 5 starts at Hanover. I thought they were okay. I don't know if I could swallow that kind of a price on him though. I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to back him at 2-1, and right now he's only going off at 7-5. So I think that price floats up, and Better Stop Me Now goes down come post time. But in any event, that's one that I'll watch this time out.
And he does flash enough early speed to possibly get a trip at least. We'll see how it unfolds. But it is a field of 6, race number 6. Ace 44 Hawk, Better Stop Me Now on the inside. He's still watching Renegade Beach in the center, the outside Laser and Smokin' Hot Dude. Field of 6, the 6th dash on a fabulous Friday night at the river. Field 4, race number 6. Is all in position. They're at the start and the rough and Renegade Beach and Ace 44 Hawk, but Ace 44 Hawk now strides through confidently from post 1 and is going to grab the lead. Renegade Beach is racing second. Better Stop Me Now third. Then he's still watching Laser and Smokin' Hot Dude. Ace 44 Hawk fell down to 6-5 of the board and has got the lead. Renegade Beach climbed up to 5-1 and is rolling second. Better Stop Me Now is the 3-2 second choice third. He's still watching, is racing fourth, and then it's back to Laser and Smokin' Hot Dude. Ace 44 Hawk has the lead. Steve Houdon looks for a second panel breather and now throws in some steps and gets galloping along. And it is Ace 44 Hawk, and now Renegade Beach is going to pull to the outside, is now into the safety lane. Ace 44 Hawk, and now Renegade Beach inherits the lead, and racing position to second is Better Stop Me Now. He's still watching Laser and Smokin' Hot Dude, and now there quickly goes Better Stop Me Now, and Better Stop Me Now is challenging Renegade Beach. Renegade Beach, though, has that inside advantage. Better Stop Me Now on the outside. Renegade Beach is trying to stop Scotty Calder from challenging on the outside, and from the backfield, Smokin' Hot Dude is kicking in late and coming with a lot of authority and has a full head of steam, and they went to the half and 58, and by 3/4 they go, and it is Better Stop Me Now, Renegade Beach, but Smokin' Hot Dude is smoking hot. 3/4, 126 and 3. And Smokin' Hot Dude has looped up now and taken it from Better Stop Me Now in Renegade Beach as the field turns for home. Smokin' Hot Dude is on fire as they come on down the stretch drive. Smokin' Hot Dude, this race is over. Smokin' Hot Dude, Better Stop Me Now, Renegade Beach, and he's still watching 155 and 4. Smokin' Hot Dude, Rob, I picked that one up moving and just decided, boy, that one's moving so fast that the others are just going to be in the way.
Yeah, I was pretty much just had my eyes trained on him for much of the mile, Gary. I mean, I don't have him picked on top, but I did say that horse I'm going to bet to win. He just is he raced tremendous last time. Huge overlay. I thought he'd be 5-2 at most in here. The thing is too is I knew he'd probably get away last off the gate. And I actually heard you kind of say in the race call that the 1 made the biggest strike, because I was watching the 6 and just wondering when he might kind of start his move forward. He waited a long time on it, but he didn't have to move any sooner because he knew the horse he had in front of him. And it's funny, as soon as he got shown clear racetrack, he was gone. And I mean, the 2 that he went past at the head of the stretch kind of hooked up for a little bit. But this horse raced tremendously well. And like I said, last time out, he was the one that caught my eye. I thought that he might not be able to beat the 2 tonight, but the way the odds board played out, he was the only one I could play.
And it's a strange way for me to call the race because the 2 and 4 are probably 7 or 8 lengths in front of the 6, and I had a one-track mind for 6, Smoking Hot Dude, once I saw how quickly he was moving.
Yeah, I mean, but you kind of the way I was thinking too, right? Because he again he kind of stayed behind horses until it was time to kind of push the button and go, and when he did, I mean, like, that's when you picked up on his move, right? He came forward with authority, and there was no holding him out. Didn't matter how wide he had to go, he had all the momentum, and raced tremendously well. And again, maybe it's a different race if Ace 44 Hawk doesn't run up on the lead, but I don't think it ends any different. I still think it ends with Spoken Hot Dude in the winner's circle.
It's a 6-2-4-3 top 4, and at number 6, Smoking Hot Dude, a 3-year-old Big Jim Brown gelding by Julie Walker and Dr. Terry Fry. Julie Walker, the trainer. J.B. Renault, the winning driver. Smoking Hot Dude, first win this year, second lifetime, 155-4. The sixth race payout, 6 Smoking Hot Dude, 11:30, 3:20, and 3:30. Two Better Stop Me Now for 33.10 for Renegade Beach 390. $2 exactor 41.30, dollar try 107.45, dollar super 334.50. sixth race, order finished in the top. 624351. That's 624351 on the bottom. Fans, just a reminder about the Super High Five, the guaranteed pool in race number 9. 7,500, that ninth race, the Billings Amateur Series Dash. And we have a field of 8 with a scratch of 9 print media. Race 9 guaranteed pool in the high five, $7,500. Field for race number 7 is on parade. One is Raw Power. Brent McDonald drives for Michelle Sherman and Sean Downey. Number 2 is Brightside Maceo. J.B. Renault for Julie Walker and Darlene Carr. Number 3 is Minotaur. Travis Henry for Sean Stacy and Hudson Stenebers and Catherine Stacy and Landmark 16 Racing. Number 4, BJ's Choice. Jason Ryan for Mark Goddard and William Brown. Number 5 is Larjan Looker. Scott Coulter for Patrick Bissett and Larry Lane. And number 6, Redland Wrangler. Paul McKenzie for Stephen Charlton and Kathleen Charlton. It's a field of 6 for race number 7. And, let's get a look at number 2, Brightside Maceo, one we got to see in the winner's circle last time out in a maiden class similar to this one. And, Rob got a pocket trip and knew what to do with it.
Yeah, it certainly did. And, the connections would look to come right back and double up, right? Combination of Jean-Bernard Renault and Julie Walker here with Brightside Maceo. Last time, was a winner against Bobby Bonebreaker. Was, a long way, kind of in a loose pocket throughout before coming on for the victory, but had kind of been sitting on that win. I mean, you and I both kind of liked this one. Gary 3 starts back at a big price from post 8, got his lungs opened up from the outside of the gates, going to the lead in the early stages, and then was a decent third after that, after going first over. So was kind of sitting on that win, and now we'll get the chance to double up in another race and non-winners of 1. Looks decent on the track right now. 2-1 on the board. I expected him to take support throughout the betting, and again, he should get forwardly placed again and be in with a big chance.
One that I think is going to break through pretty soon is number 3, Minotaur. And you've liked this one in the past, but of late now, he's come close, and that was a strong effort last time out here, August the 2nd.
Yeah, knocking at the door, right? Just missed by a neck last time, went a long way in the lead. From post 3, got beat by Better Than Never, who's one I'm fond of. So it's a good form reference. And then Large John Levi was the one that beat him in the 2 before that. Another horse that we were pretty enamored with for a while here at the River when he was here, and only missed by half a length to him 3 starts ago. So he's got tactical speed. A horse that, again, I fully expect to go forward off the switch again this evening, and probably has been racing too well to not have a victory on his card yet, right? 0 for 13 in his career, but he does have 4 runner-up finishes and 5 on-the-board finishes.
Yeah, and look, Minotaur is just a good-looking one to me. I'm reluctant to say that because, I don't have all that much horsemanship compared to most announcers, and so sometimes I'm uncertain. But then I look here, 105,000 Lexington Select, so maybe he's supposed to be looking good.
Yeah, you would think so, right? I mean, definitely an expensive yearling purchase, and one that has kind of obviously been putting things together this year. Just 0 for 2 last year, doing better things this year, and might continue to improve for Sean Stacy.
And number 4, BJ's Choice. Now, this is one that flashed enough ability, but his game has been coming from off the pace, and it's a field of 6. It might not play in well for him, but he's getting 9 to 5 on the board.
Yeah, 9 to 5 favoritism right now on BJ's Choice. Listen, this is a horse I can't guess right on, right? We know that. It was a Robert Off angle when he won it. Then, it's a Robert Off angle again tonight, I guess. And maybe that's going to be the key for BJ's Choice because he's a horse that I was backing with frequency. And then he did win in that race where he faced quite a few 2-year-olds on July the 12th. And then since then has been doing what he was doing earlier on in his career. And that's just kind of coming from off the pace and picking up pieces. 3rd last time, a couple of 4ths before that. Would I be surprised if he wins it here? Absolutely not. Do I think I'd want to rush to them at 8 to 5? Probably not as well, because I just, like you said, he might be at a pace disadvantage again. He's kind of his own worst enemy that way. If he ever can learn how to go forward off the gate, then obviously that would help his chances tremendously.
Larjan Looker is one that we got a good look at here in July with almost winning from post 7, and then the next week winning from post 8 all the way on top.
Yeah, you convinced me, he's decent value right now, 7-2 in the board. I mean, I kind of thought this race, I do think this race is 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, that's the ones I use in the multi-leg wagers. Only cut off 2 of them, which might be to my detriment. But Larjon Looker's got tactical speed. Now, is he going to go to the front tonight, or can he get to the front tonight, or through them like Brightside Maseo and Minotaur? Will still be seen, but I think 3-1. You can convince me he's the one that would be worth a play on top, just because he might get the right trip scenario, and he has been turning in some pretty good efforts. And last time out, John Levi was the winner. He got beat by 10 lengths, but I would hold that one against him.
Well, it is a field of 6. Race number 7, they are taking up their positions. Raw Power, Brightside Maseo on the inside. In the center, Minotaur, BJ's Choice. To the outside, Larjon Looker, Redland Wrangler. Field of 6, race number 7. Field for the 7th race. Horses and geldings on the pace. Into the backstretch, nearing the start. And there at the start of the rough, and Larjon Looker comes blasting out and looking for the lead and was able to grab it with ease. Redland Wrangler, Minotaur, Raw Power, Brightside Maseo, and BJ's Choice is well back, relaxed away, trailing the field. And Redland Wrangler's coming on against Larjon Looker. Redland Wrangler is going to come on and clear to the front, and then Larjon Looker is filling the pocket in behind Redland Wrangler, but not for long. Larjon Looker and Scotty Calder is looking to come right back around and loop up over Redland Wrangler and is going to clear to the front. And then racing third is Minotaur as they race their way on past us. Then it is Raw Power and back to Brightside Maseo and BJ's Choice. 28-2 opening quarter. Larjon Looker rolling up towards the half. Larjon Looker, Redland Wrangler. Minotaur is third. They roll their way to the half, and then fourth on the inside is Raw Power. Now Brightside Maseo is fifth, but is still content to just sit back there. And then it is BJ's Choice, Larjon Looker. Now from the backfield, Brightside Maseo is starting to roll. 58-3 halftime. Larjon Looker at 6-1. Has that advantage of a Redland Wrangler at about 2 1/4. Now Minotaur on the outside has moved up. Redland Wrangler third. Brightside Maseo is bursting onto the scene. Then Raw Power and BJ's Choice. And they head to 3/4. Larjon Looker. Minotaur. Brightside Maseo is a closing third. And BJ's Choice is now kicked into gear. But Brightside Maseo has a full head of steam. Brightside Maseo is coming to Larjon Looker. Brightside Maseo, Larjon Looker. Minotaur between those two, and BJ's Choice is now sent out wide on down the stretch. Route they come. Brightside Maseo, Larjon Looker on the inside is still game. Brightside Maseo, Larjon Looker. Larjon Looker held off Brightside Maseo. That Minotaur and BJ's Choice, 156-2. Larjon Looker. Well, Rob, you said maybe as the value play, and it was a 6-1 front end win.
Yeah, you know what? When he made the lead as easy as he did, I thought, they're going to be in big trouble here, because we've seen this horse race well when he kind of gets left alone in the lead. Now, I did get a little bit steppy in the early stages, but got that under control, and I thought he might get swallowed up by Brightside Maseo, but you could see him punch back gamely, and it wasn't like they were crawling home either. They banged home pretty good, and this horse earned every bit of that victory. I thought, at 7-2, he was value. He goes up to 6-1. So I know I'm had him pegged for fourth, but I typically look for, horses like this to say, okay, this is the horse that's the value to bet to win. Maybe he doesn't win the race, the most times if they ran it 100 times. But I think that he's the value, and he was that, especially at 6-1, and at least we're still kicking in the pick 4 as well.
Yeah, and look, when we look at the slow motion, Brightside Maseo raced really well. Just a lot of work to do, a lot of horse to try to track down.
Absolutely, yeah. You're trying to get past one that's obviously been brave on the lead and kind of swelled up on the engine. We know too that that's I mean, we've seen more horses do it lately with success. Those three wide moves at the top of the stretch, but it's been tough to slingshot at times here, right? Here at the river over the new surface, and especially when you have one that doesn't have a tremendous amount of race experience like Brightside Maseo, they might get held off more times than not by one like Large John Looker. And again, he holds on at a nice price, but Brightside Maseo's one will likely come back to.
It's a 5-2-3-4 top four. Back in front of us, number 5, Larjan Looker, 3-year-old better than Shetter Brown Colt. Owned by Larry Lane, trained by Patrick Bissett, Scotty Coulter, the winning driver. It's the third win this year, third lifetime for Larjan Looker, 156-2. The seventh race payouts 5, Larjan Looker, 1510, 760, 380, 2 Brightside Maseo, 290, 230, 3 Minotaur, 250, $2 exactor, 83.30. The dollar try, $100.70. The dollar superfecta, 125.10. And fans, while we have a moment, a reminder in race number 9, the $7,500 guaranteed Super High Five. The ninth race is the Billings Amateur Series. Super High Five, guaranteed pool, 7,500. The seventh race order finish from the top down 5 2 3 4 1 6. That's 5 2 3 4 1 6 on the bottom.
Okay, going down to.
Fans, at this time, we draw your attention to the racetrack as we welcome the drivers who are participating in the Billings Amateur Driving Series in Race 9 on the program this evening. Nello Guglielmi, Julie Walker, Daniel St. Pierre, Marc-Andre Pilon, Anita Willette, Isaac Waxman, Stephen Helks, and Mariel Enberg. These amateur drivers do not receive compensation for this series, but instead contribute their driver's fees to the Horse Racing Hall of Fame. In particular, we want to introduce Nello Guglielmi, who will be representing Canada in the World Amateur Driving Championship being held in Finland August 19th through the 22nd. There are 12 countries represented in this international competition, with each driver competing in a total of 6 races at 3 different tracks in Finland. Please join us in wishing Nello Guglielmi well in representing Canada in this championship. Good luck to Mello Nello. Fans, just a reminder, race 9, the Super High 5 guaranteed pool race number 9, $7,500 in the pool. That's the 9th race. Field on post parade for race 8. One better than never. Mike Horner for RAW Equine and Mark Horner. Number 2 is Vincendi Blue Chip. It's Small Mackenzie for Luke Blaine Determination. Number 3 is Watch Your Mouth. Scott Culver, Harry Poltman, and Co. Capital Management. 4 is Sporty B. Tyler Moore for Jack Moisev at High Stakes Incorporated and Nancy McNevin. Number 5 is All Bets on Red. Jason Ryan for Chris Haskell. Number 6, I'm a Captain. Brett McDonough for Ashley Lenvoy and Gino Toscani. And number 7, Port St. Charles, Austin. Sorry for Jack Moisev and Mo and Joe Stibble and Nancy McNevin and David Morgan. It's a field of 7, race number 8. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, 3 favorites all sitting at 5-2. And yet, well, Rob, you're going in a different direction. Number 5, All Bets on Red. You got Jason Ryan, who's rolling. And for Chris Haskell, a member of the Announcers Union.
Yeah, no, I've been fond of this horse too. And been in good order for trainer Chris Haskell. Was, I thought, tremendous to be third 3 starts ago here at the River Prospect Series event. Kind of couldn't have gotten to more bad luck in that race before having to kind of angle out, getting stopped on the backs of horses before getting within 3/4 of a length of the victory. Followed that up with a last place finish at Mohawk Park after getting a tough trip on the outside, and then I thought last time out needed a softer journey where he finished third. So I think that All Bets on Red is one that can certainly handle this group and will likely be handled more aggressively this time around. Jason Ryan's been having success tonight. All meet here at the River. Happy to take any kind of a price on him, and 7-2 I think would be value, but we might see that shorten up come post time.
Well, one thing that is interesting is people can't decide who's the clear favorite because you got 3 horses all sitting at 3-1. Your next 3 are those 3 that are all sitting at 3-1 or were, and the first one is One Better Than Never. Post one last time out. How'd that work out for Mike Horner and Better Than Never?
It worked out for a victory, and got away third off the gate. No, a horse that has always kind of been a closing type, but with that pole position last time, got away third. First over, grinded down the leader, Minotaur, and ends up coming out on top as the favorite. And again, this is a horse I've been fond of since really he stepped onto the track for the Horners. And shout out to Mark Horner, by the way. We were sitting in with me on Industry Day to talk about Button Up. It was a fantastic conversation with him and really appreciate it. Better Than Never is a horse that has made miscues here and there, but seems to have had that behind him now. I liked him last year when he was 3 for 9, and I've been in his camp this year frequently as well. So 3-1 is not a bad number on the board. Same starting spot as last time. Up in class, but I think can be more than competitive with this group.
Vincendi Blue Chip is one that's hard to decide what to do with because first off, it's Luke Blaine Determination, so that gets your attention. But then that last race, finishing 9th, well, that gets your attention too. Then you look down the page and you see a win in 53-4 in May at Mohawk, and that gets your attention. I didn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, I know the one thing that you'll probably like about him too is that $170,000 yearling purchase, right? So, I mean, he's meant to be a good horse. Now, obviously ended up in a condition claimer last time for $20,000, so he's a far cry from that yearling purchase. But that 9th place finish, Gary, I would not be so worried about that. He was actually trying to fish for a room the entire stretch drive. He was caught behind a wall of horses. He hadn't raced in, almost 2 months? Got away last off the gate. And it was a replay that I was actually impressed with. I wasn't impressed enough to put him on top in here, but he was climbing over some horses in the stretch. I mean, I would not be worried. If you look at that and say that's why you don't like him, don't worry about that. That 9th place finish there, just kind of the way it worked out. He took support to the tune of 6-1, and by all rights, he can win in here with the right kind of a trip. And 5-2 on the board. I thought he might get overbet. I think that is kind of an overbet with some of the other horses in here, but like I said, that replay was actually a lot better than it looks on paper.
I went to number 6, I'm a Captain, and, of course, Vincendi Blue Chip racing at Mohawk last start, but the other 2 coming in The one Better Than Never and All Bets on Red both were in maidens. I'm a Captain, non-winners at 2, beaten 4, but Wild Dog Holiday, Onyx Bovino, and Arizona Jackson, they're pretty solid.
You're right. You know what? This is another horse I put in for fourth. And when I kind of look at it and say, wow, you look at the class edge that this horse has over these, it's pretty significant. Because last time out, finishes fifth to Wild Dog Holiday. We know what that one's capable of. I mean, tonight he gave a pretty good effort out there again. And then before that, obviously, a worse finish to that same rival. Watching Sunset's one we might back in here. And that when I'm a Captain on June 11th at Mohawk Park, I was actually in his corner on that occasion. It was a solid victory. So I think that the morning line was a little high, and 7-2 is probably the price that he should be, and he's in with a big chance. I mean, this is actually a really nice field top to bottom, and it should be a good horse race.
And it's interesting, we didn't talk about Watch Your Mouth, and yet that's the one that did all the work for much of the mile last time out, trying to shut up the field on the lead.
It's true. I mean, he's a horse that went a long way on the engine. I mean, and sometimes we see horses come back with that, and they race better for it. How about Port St. Charles, too? I mean, this is a horse that, has 3 victories over this surface in his last 6 starts overall, and now second-time Lasix. I mean, he could be one that can throw his hat into the ring here. I mean, I just thought maybe might be time for a flat line off a break, but hey, this, like I said, the margin between the best and the worst horse in this field is not indicative of the odds board.
Well, you're on All Bets on Red, and I'm a Captain. It's Better Than Ever. Vincendi Blue Chip to the inside. Watch Your Mouth, Sporty B, and All Bets on Red in the center to the outside. I'm a Captain. And Port St. Charles. It's a field of 7. It is race number 8. There in the backstretch, nearing the start. And the field for the 8th race. At the start of the rough end, Watch Your Mouth comes out quickly. Watch Your Mouth. All Bets on Red. Port St. Charles broke stride. Then I'm a Captain is out 3 wide still, as All Bets on Red now is going to come on and try to clear to the front. I'm a Captain still works on the outside. Watch Your Mouth is taking back and is going to be on the inside 3rd. And Better Than Never didn't want to sit on the inside 4th, so quickly pops out right now. And it is I'm a Captain who captains the field right now, but with Better Than Never on the outside bearing down, 27-4 opening quarter. Then to the inside, racing position to 3rd is All Bets on Red. And Watch Your Mouth is shuffled back to 4th, and now Better Than Never. Mike Horner is going to clear to the front. I'm a Captain is 2nd. All Bets on Red is 3rd. Then Watch Your Mouth, Vincendi Blue Chip, and Sporty B. And Port St. Charles had that early break. 27-4 the opening quarter. And it is Better Than Never who's got the lead. I'm a Captain is right there close in the pocket, nose to helmet. And then All Bets on Red's quickly going to pop out and give cover to Vincendi Blue Chip. Watch Your Mouth is on the inside 5th. Then Port St. Charles and Sporty B is sporting the last spot. Better Than Ever is better than the field right now and is leading by about 2, but closing now. Bearing down is All Bets on Red at 8-5, and on the inside 3rd, I'm a Captain. Then Vincendi Blue Chip is racing 4th and getting closer. Watch Your Mouth is on the inside, locked in 5th. Port St. Charles and then Sporty B. 3/4, 125-1. All Bets on Red tackling Better Than Ever. All Bets on Red takes the lead. Better Than Never couldn't hold that one off, and blocked on the inside right now as I'm a Captain looking for the passing lane. Vincendi Blue Chip on down the stretch. Round they come, and All Bets on Red. All Bets on Red. I'm a Captain up the inside. All Bets on Red has this one sewn up. And then 2nd is between I'm a Captain, center of the track, Vincendi Blue Chip, and Sporty B came from way out of it to be in a place photo. 154-2, All Bets on Red, and Jason Ryan completes the hat trick, Robert.
Yeah, completes the hat trick, and a horse that was labeled my best bet of the night. I always give out all my selections on X before the card, along with my multi-leg wagers. And, tonight, Gary, sometimes it all works out, right? I gave it 3 plays of the night. Watch her do it. Nice winner at 4-5. Smoking Hot Dude is my value play. Wins it at 9-2. And now All Bets on Red wins here at, I believe, odds of 8-5 or 9-5. 8-5 went down to favoritism. But you know what? I thought he was sitting on a big effort. He needed a softer journey last time out. This time out, you know what? I think the plan was to kind of get to the front and maybe chop it out. The problem is there was so much action in the early stages in a race that I thought was kind of full of talent for this class. And then he has to come first over, and he just keeps on, grinding them down until he forges a way to an easy victory. So pretty happy when the horses that you feel this strongly about all get down, and now hopefully we can get the pick four anyways in the finale.
Jason's made some nice decisions of late, and that was certainly a good one there. We see it's kind of close for second, but it wasn't close for the win.
No, no, not at all. Just Jason Ryan's been driving fantastic here at the River. I mean, I've been a fan of his driving for a long time, but he's really, been figuring out this surface and the nuances of it very early on. And we've said it, Gary, many times. First over is not a bad place to be here. It's not. I mean, as a horse player, especially, you want to see your horses get put into play. And first over, I mean, with the best horse, you're going to end up being a winner. And that's what he was there with all bets on red.
Yeah, it was really good. I like you boasting about those picks, but you know what Reggie Jackson said about bragging? He said, "It ain't bragging if you do it."
Well, exactly. So, I always say humble brag, so I guess I kind of deserve that. But, I just want to let people know, hey,
No,
I
I
put out
love
the
it.
selections on X ahead of time.
No,
Make sure you check them out. We've been doing good as of late.
I love it. Reggie Jackson said, "It ain't bragging if you do it."
Very true.
On the board, 5264. Back in front of us is number 5. All bets on red. A 3-year-old better than Cheddar Bay Colt, owned and trained by Chris Haskell. Jason Ryan with the driving hat trick. Third win this year. Third lifetime. All bets on red. 154-2. Eighth race payouts. 5 all bets on red. 550, 340, 290. 2 Vincendi Blue Chip, 510, 586. I'm a Captain, 380. $2 exactor is $40, $70 try, $69.90. Dollar super, 204.85. Fans, 11 minutes to race number 9, and note it is the Billings Amateur Series and features the Super High Five guaranteed 7,500 pool. Eighth race, so we finish from the top. 5274136. That's 5274136 on the bottom. Well, we're 5 minutes to post time to race number 9, the Billings Amateur Series, and note 7,500 guaranteed in the Super High Five. So we'd better bring in Robert Reed and have a conversation about how we're going to handicap this thing. And Robert's kind of rolling, so Robert, we'd better lean on into your picks here and see how we're going to map out this ticket. And then the last race, I wasn't with you, but I'm with you. We're together here on Parsons. Isaac Waxman, man, you got to take Isaac, I think. Of course, Isaac trains a lot of horses and always puts up big numbers, but also he's a career 300 driver. Now, look, early in his career, Isaac could be a little bit of a headstrong colt, but he got married and had some kids, and Isaac's become one of my favorite people in this business. He's really grown up well, and I really love what he gets done now. And I think Parsons and Isaac Waxman, and you remember Parsons, he was in the Battle of Waterloo here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Listen, I've always gotten along well with Isaac, and he's a great guy to talk to. And you know what? You talked about the stats, and that's what I kind of look at in these amateur races, Gary. I always look at their stats this season and what their career is. And like you mentioned, Isaac, you did your homework. He's a 300 universal driver ratings average throughout his career. He's 94 for 491 and 7 for 24 this season. So when I look at these type of races, I think this field is kind of evenly matched. I mean, again, I would stick to the Colts and the Geldings, but I'm going to side with the driver that's got the most experience and the most victories, and that's Isaac Waxman. and obviously also putting up big numbers as a trainer as well, right? And been doing that for years. So I think that Parsons is the right place to land as well. And I think we'll likely see that one go forward off the gate. I mean, in these amateur races, we usually see a lot of action early. Sometimes it slows down a little bit in the middle stages, but really they can be unpredictable at times, right? And that's why we might see some big prices.
Yeah, and Parsons was off a while before that last start, from May the 31st to August the 2nd. So now he's back on a tight rotation, and Isaac Waxman driving and training this one should be the one to beat. 3-1. I'll be surprised if he's not the favorite. But look, number 4 choreographer is one that has a fair amount of back class, getting close to the $300,000 mark. Marc-Andre Pilon's driving this one, and Marc's got some decent numbers overall in his career. And it's not easy for these amateur drivers to ring up numbers, because oftentimes they're not driving the horse that's the best horse or the second or third best horse in the race. So it gets difficult. But he's got a career 161, and choreographer back class.
Yeah, he's 4 for 61 in the win column in his career. He's just got one drive this season, but he's got a good one here in choreographer, right? We've seen him get to the winner's circle recently at the River, just 3 starts ago. Went all the way on the engine on that occasion, and that's the name of choreographer's game. I mean, he's at his best when he goes to the front or at worst it's a 2-hole trip, and I think that it helps an amateur driver when you've got a horse like choreographer who's got all kinds of speed off the switch and has this kind of experience as well, right? 28 lifetime wins and almost 300,000 made. So he's the class of the field, and I think we're going to see him in the mix throughout. But I'm looking at the odds board right now and seeing 10-1, but we know that can change in a hurry here at the River. All the money comes in late. He's got to be one of the favorites, right, Gary?
Absolutely. Look, number 5, About a Boy. Now, you might at first glance, well, Anita Ouellette, she's had only 6 drives this year. Ashley Lenvoy is the trainer. But Anita Ouellette is a very fine horse person, and one that certainly has a reason to probably be well schooled in driving with Luc Ouellette. About a Boy is one with back class as well.
He is, and he's been in good form lately too, right? I mean, you see a 6th the most recently. That's getting away 7th off the gate from post 7, and a 4th before that. That scratch in between 2 is obviously gonna affect things, and missing a bit of time before that latest start, probably getting a bit of an easier journey this time out. I mean, I would think going forward off the switch, and from what I've seen from Anita Ouellette in the past, I know she's capable of getting them to kind of move forward pretty quick off the gate. So 2 for 19 in her career with a 140 average. She's 1 for 6 this season as well, so that's pretty positive as well. And I think About a Boy should be in the mix throughout. Another horse that has racked up victories recently here at the River. I mean, you see 3 in a row right on the page there, and they were all dominant victories. I think he's one you can't leave out here, and he's 10-1 right now.
Yeah, and it's tough to figure out how we're going to play this ticket. We'll be talking more about it after the post parade, but I think that there's a few you could kind of zero in on the top, and then you kind of got to fan out, because these drivers kind of even it out. And look at the tilt board is telling you that.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, you look at it top to bottom. I mean, I think that when I look at this race again, like I'm typically going to side with Colts and Geldings over mares when they're racing at the same level. I mean, if the inside 2 were racing at higher claiming prices, I might be putting them on the ticket. But those are ones I'll likely shy away from, at least not until the 4th or 5th spot on the ticket. But other than that, I do think it's pretty evenly matched, and that's why I've got to go with Parsons on top. But they're coming on the track. We'll hit this again with ticket strategy, Gary, after the post parade.
It is that field of 8 for race 9, the Billings Amateur Series, guaranteed pool 7,500 in the Super High 5. On post parade 1, JK's Lifesaver, Nello Guglielmi drives for trainer and owner Alan Steves. Number 2 is Cove Beach, Julie Walker for Chris Hill. There is number 3, Feisty Like Fire, Daniel St. Pierre for Brett Lester and Rebecca Williamson. Number 4 is choreographer Marc-Andre Pilon, drives for trainer and owner Scott West. Five's About a Boy, Nita Willette for Ashley Lenvoy and Dana White. Number 6, Parsons, Isaac Waxman for Tess Waxman and Glenn Wark. Number 7, Military Secret, Stephen Hawkes for Michelle Sherman and Sean Downey. And 8 is ABC, Maria Landberg for Courtney Robson. Field of 8, race 9, the guaranteed high five, 7,500. And Rob, I'm going to try to bounce around this field. We've already touched on the first 3 in here, your picks 6, 4, 5. But I want to get to 1. JK's Lifesaver. I used this one for second, and one of my reasons, and you can tell me what you think of this, Nello's been driving a lot more than some of these other drivers this year. Nello has 43 starts in the year. He's been driving pretty well, and he's got a 240 on the year. And he's been, I think, driving with a fair amount of confidence, and he's got the inside post position. And this is a horse that was fairly decent last year. This is just the 4th start of the year, but one that probably can get off the gate from the inside as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Nell's going to represent Canada at the World Amateur Driving Championships. Listen, Nell's a great guy. I've known him a long time. Really, a great guy to talk to, and a guy who'll do anything for you. So I always cheer for Nello. Pole position, you're right, 6 for 43 this season, and that should, certainly give him a bit of a experience edge, I guess, over a lot of these drivers with recency. 43 for 974 in his career with a 109 average. Again, I think you can never ignore the pole position in this on this surface. Old surface here, new surface. The pole position always seems to land somewhere in the high 5. I think JK's Lifesaver, though, is a bit of an underlay right now at 6-1. I think, a lot of that's probably coming in support of Nello, but I think that, she's probably a bit more behind this field than the odds dictate right now. But again, would I leave her off the high 5? No, I can't, because that's a good spot to be in, and I think she can work out the right kind of trip.
I want to ask you about 3, Feisty Like Fire, because this is one I used further down on the ticket, and you used for 4th. And look, has been improving. But if you look at last year, this horse was much better than he is this year. Do you think he's maybe building into it now?
Maybe. I mean, trending in the right direction. I mean, we've kind of thought multiple times that, this is going to be the night that, well, for me anyways, I haven't been putting him on top, so that the night that he gets me, like the last couple of starts anyways, he got within a pretty, small margin last time, 3/4 of a length away from ABC. So moving in the right direction. Obviously, no top 2 finishes 11 tries this season. Like you said, last year hit the board with frequency. So listen, this horse is a versatile type. He can race from off the pace. He can race on the pace. So Daniel St. Pierre will have options with him tonight. He is right back in to go on Tuesday at Georgian Downs. So take that for what you like. But we do have a driver that's 1 for 7 this season, 21 for 365 in his career, the 136 average. And I think Feisty Like Fire is one that will land somewhere in the high 5. Maybe win it with the right kind of a trip. Again, these races, sometimes these amateur races, it's going to come down to who gets the better trip. And sometimes they get a little bit wild. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
What do you make of 7, Military Secret? This is one that right from the get-go has been getting a lot of love. But it's an outside post, and this is one that, big time last year, 8 wins, only 1 win on the year.
And right now we're only at $3,000 towards that guarantee, Gary. So it's a huge overlay right now. $7,500 is the guarantee in this pool, and we're just at about $3,000. So there's an overlay of over $4,000 right now. Huge wagering opportunity here. And listen, Military Secret, from a class perspective and from a recent form perspective, he could be the horse in here. The thing is, it's post 7. He's one that is versatile. Like I always kind of thought in more recent starts for him and in seasons, he's one that needs the front or need to be near the front. But you look at his recent paper, he's been kind of coming from just off the pace. So he can certainly make his presence felt in here at some point in the mile. He's taken support throughout the betting. He even opened as the favorite. And Stephen Hawkes is a guy who's 23 for 268 in his career, just 0 for 1 this season, but has a 184 average. So certainly someone that can find the winner's circle. And Military Secret's one that's got a nose for the wire, 24 wins and almost 250,000 made in his career.
There are only 2 horses in this race that are coming in off of a win, and it's the 2 that we haven't talked about. At number 2, Cove Beach, Julie Walker. Julie's having a really, really fine year training, and Julie's got some solid numbers as a driver overall, considering. And Cove Beach front end win at Sarnia last race.
Yeah, I think that that effort last time. Well, first of all, I didn't have her in that race of Sarnia, and I do handicap that track. That was one that hurt a little bit. So I'm probably maybe I'm holding that against this horse here. I mean, I do like, again. I'm always going to side. She beat the boys last time. I'm typically going to side with Colts and Geldings over mares in these spots when they're coming out of evenly matched races. They're all coming out of $8,000 claimers for the most part. And the thing for Cove Beach, again, should be confident coming into this. Does race with versatility. Won in the front end last time. Maybe tries to go forward off the gate this time out. I just think that the makeup of this field is tougher now. You're facing open 8-claimer types. That last one, that was a winner's under $8,000 condition claimers. So I think Cove Beach needs the right kind of trip in order to get the job done tonight, but certainly can be in the mix throughout. And Julie Walker is someone who can put her in the right position off the gate.
Another one, the other one that's got a win is ABC, and it was from off the pace. Now, maybe you don't use ABC up in the top or maybe in the second spot in here because of post 8, but probably going to climb his way onto the ticket somewhere. And look at Mary Lenberg. She's got a strong record, 250 career driving average, and she's also one that does that riding under saddle. She's an accomplished horse person at outside post, but this horse is coming in sharp.
Yeah, and she's 19 for 162 in her career. And doesn't have a win this season, but she'll definitely break through with that victory sooner or later, no doubt about that, because she is an accomplished horse person, and she has steered numerous winners in her career. And ABC, this is one that I kind of was liking in his last two. Didn't put him on top, but had him in the mix. But he's really kind of turned it around. A horse that in the past I always remembered as one that needed the lead to be good, maybe a favorable journey. He's kind of gutted out wins. Got it a win last time and raced well. Almost got it a win 2 back when Fear the Shadow beat him, and that horse ended up going on and winning 3 in a row. So I think that ABC's an overlay right now. The question is, how does he get into the race? I mean, I think it's going to be very busy in the early stages. Not sure this one is the type that's going to swoop the field or anything like that. So again, I'd be using ABC. I mean, I've got ABC in the pick 4. I'm alive to that one to be my best result too. I'll be using them in the high 5 and the lower ends. And again, just hoping the trip can work out, that he can kind of spice it up at 16-1. But look at the board right now, Gary.
Yeah.
You've got 3 horses at 3-1. The longest price is 16-1. It just shows you these races are tough to handicap, and that's why we should see a good payout for this guaranteed high 5 pool that right now is sitting. The pool is just at $3,200, so it's still a very substantial overlay with that guarantee of $7,500.
Well, the drivers are a bit of an X factor too, because they're a little more of an unknown. But when you get the likes of Julie Walker and Anita Willette and Mary Landberg, they're really accomplished horse people. Of course, Isaac Waxman stands at the head of the heap, and just the whole field. But it balances out because you just don't see these drivers all the time to really get that look at it. One thing we got to try to figure out: how do you think the trip goes? Who's blasting off the wings here?
Oh, that's a good question.
Choreographer?
I mean, there's several horses. Yeah, choreographer's got to be the one that tries to leave. I think that the inside two are going to try to hold their position. So I mean that usually adds another dynamic to it when you have horses that are just trying to maintain their position. Try to get away forwardly placed. With the 2-hole or 3-hole. Feisty like fire. I mean, I don't know if he's got the gears to kind of blast off the gate, but I mean he's got a 26-4 3 down where he got away second. I think that. It's got to be choreographer. I hope Parsons blasts. I really do. I hope that Parsons goes forward off the gate. And if we could ever line up those two, 6-4, 4-6, it would make me pretty happy for what I have going in the pick 4 and what I'm likely going to play in this high 5. Because, I mean, to me, those are the two I want to kind of surround in the ticket. And probably more so onto Parsons than choreographer, just because, like I said, I typically side with the driver with the highest percentages, and that's Isaac Waxman.
And there's the problem, though. If those horses to the inside of Parsons come blasting off the gate, and with these amateur drivers, they don't get a lot of drive, so they're going to be wanting to make a big statement right here in the one drive. Isaac might get the worst of things, even though he may well have the most horse.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, that's kind of the thing with all these amateur driving events. The ones I watch south of the border and up here in Canada is that you've got it where I mean everyone wants to be on the engine, right? And this field here is one that's kind of loaded with early speed, so it could be very busy getting to the engine here, and it might end up taxing some of the horses that are pretty logical. In which case, we might see a price come down. So I don't know. Again, I don't know how it's going to shake out. I mean, when I look at it for how it should land just based on the form, I would say 4.664, but it might get pretty wild in the early stages, Gary.
One thing the tote board is telling me is probably the high five is very balanced. So you want to have a ticket in here because I think it's going to be hard to be a short price to high five. It's a pretty even looking bunch, and they're taking up their positions. JK's Lifesaver, Cove Beach, feisty like fire on the inside. Choreographer, Butter Boy in the center, the outside Parsons, Military Secret, and ABC. Field of 8, race number 9. They're turning into the backstretch for the 9th and final dash on a fabulous Friday at Grand River Raceway. Field for the 9th race. He is at the start and the rough. Choreographer blast with a Butter Boy, and also leaving out his feisty like fire. Cove Beach, JK's Lifesaver. Parsons is racing 6th right now. Then ABC and Military Secret as the field works on around the turn. And feisty like fire had some problems racing on the turn and is taken out. And now it is Choreographer who's got a lead of a length and a half. And it is Choreographer and Marc-Andre Pilon with the lead. And rolling along in second is a Butter Boy and Anita Willem. Mello Nello, JK's Lifesaver on the inside third as they race their way off the turn. And now has popped out. JK's Lifesaver is coming first over. Challenging Choreographer. On the inside third is a Butter Boy. And then on the outside, feisty like fire is recovered. And Parsons is racing fifth. And then it is back to Cove Beach. And then ABC and Military Secret is trailing the field of a 28-2 opening quarter. They head up towards the half, and Choreographer has the front, but JK's Lifesaver on the inside third is Butter Boy and feisty like fire. And Daniel St. Pierre now is getting a little closer, spotted second over. Parsons is looming from fifth, and Isaac Waxman. Then it is Cove Beach and Julie Walker, Military Secret and Stephen Halkson, back to ABC and Mary Lindbergh. They head on to 3/4 off of 58.5, and Choreographer still has the front for Marc-Andre Pilon. And a Butter Boy and Anita Willett is racing second. JK's Lifesaver and Mello Nello is flattened out, and Parsons and Isaac Waxman is kicking in. Feisty like fire is racing fifth, and then it is Cove Beach and Military Secret and ABC. It is Choreographer and a Butter Boy. JK's Lifesaver and Parsons, and on the inside, feisty like fire on down the stretch where they come, and it is Choreographer dancing to the finish. Choreographer is going to win. Butter Boy is second. Then Parsons, and 3 across the track. It is close for the 4th position between ABC Military Secret and JK's Lifesaver. 155 and 3. Choreographer, Robert.
Yeah, Choreographer, again, we said, in an amateur race like this, I mean, the horse you're going to want to have is one like Choreographer, right? He knows how to get to the lead. He knows how to maintain the lead, and he knows how to win. I mean, this is now his 29th career victory, and this will also put him ever much closer to $300,000 in career earnings. He got to the lead in reasonable quarter, 28-2, decent breather in the second panel, and at that point it's all over. I mean, JK's Lifesaver ended up first over a long way, ends up fading out of it. But a boy plugged in for a good trip and kind of chased Choreographer gamely to the wire. And Parsons was one that that I was pretty fond of. Just wasn't able to get forwardly placed off the gate with inside speed, but did move pretty well in the late stages to be third.
Yeah, that last comment that I gave you about Parsons, even though we both had this on top, might be the problem with the gate speed to his inside. Isaac looked over and saw, oh, they're all leaving to the inside of me. I better get over to the pylons and work it out later.
Yeah, no, exactly. And again, you're against. I mean, Parsons has got 3 wins, 34,000 lifetime. Choreographer 28 wins, almost 300,000 lifetime, right? So you're kind of going with Parsons, thinking you might get the better trip, but it ends up not panning out that way. Choreographer, I mean, the place to be in amateur events is the engine. Marc-Andre Pilon knows that. That's where he got Choreographer, and the old boy certainly performed well for him.
It comes in a 4.5618, and I thought it raced reasonably logically. In fact, your top three were 6.45, so you had the right idea there. And JK's Lifesaver, actually, Mello, stuck around for fourth. And ABC, Mary Landberg, picks up a piece despite it being post 8. You always got to use an 8 or a 7 in those high fives. So far, we've gotten in quite often.
Well, they help add value to it too, right? And I mean, in this case here, I mean, flying late. ABC was flying late, so Mary Lamberg did a good job getting that one into gear in the late stages. Just missed out on getting up for fourth, and one that we'll certainly watch for next time.
Have yourself a good weekend, Rob. Thanks for all the work.
You too, Gary. Always a pleasure. Can't wait for Monday.
It's a 4.5618. Back in front of us is number 4, choreographer. 9-year-old Well Said Bay Gelding, owned and trained by Scott West. Marc-Andre Pilon is the winning driver of the Billings Amateur Series. 4th win this year, and the first on the season for Marc-Andre Pilon. 155-3. Ninth race payouts for choreographer. 740, 410, 345 about boys. 740 and 420 and 6 Parsons, 340. $2 exactor, 57.80. Dollar try, 132.70. Double to 5 and 4, 27.50. Dollar pick 3, 171.10. Dollar pick 4, 435.05. Dollar high 5, 3,152.80, and a 20-cent high 5 of $630.56. Ninth race order finish from the top down, 47812-365. That's 47812-365's scratch on the bottom. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program. There's the photo for fourth, where you see it's a 187 for fourth. Our program concluding. Note that racing action resumes on Monday. First race, 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Casey.